Why would you do that? We're in the end game now.
This is insane, you guys.
Yo, this is sexy, man.
Broadcasting live from the internet, it's Tuesday night, and this is the PanelsOnPages.com podcast with your host, Lee Rodriguez.
At the end of the day, babies are terrible people, and I'm not sorry for saying it.
Jason Nyes.
Motherfucker, I won best costume!
Jose Guzman.
Yeah, I know nothing about Firestorm, except for his hat's always burning.
And Kelly Harris.
Boy, love, it appears we got a penis in the mail.
I glued my fucking eyes shut!
I just want to see all these Yelp reviews of Jose's jizz.
Oh, sorry, I knocked over the salt.
Like you had anything better to do.
Man, what the fuck is going on, everybody? Today is Tuesday, April 30th. Almost done with this motherfucker. 2019. This is episode number 466 of the Panels on Pages podcast, and I am sick to fucking death of this intro. I gotta make a new one.
Oh, I was about to make a note on the Sniffles calendar.
No, I'm not sick, motherfucker.
You sound sick.
I'm sick of the intro. They make a new intro. It's been a while.
We need to pick a Pond 5 song.
Yes. And just like, new bits.
Yeah.
New bits and bits and bits. I am your host, the Lord Reverend Lee Rodriguez, and joining me tonight, we've got Mr. Jason Nyes.
Avengers.
Jose Guzman.
You know what stops a bird in mid-flight? Pothole.
Kelly Harris.
What animal could you beat up?
Oh, I like it. Good buddy Mahoney's here.
A fucking goose, Kelly. I'll kick the shit out of a goose.
Dude, goose don't give a fuck. One goose could fuck up a grown man.
They're gonna give a fuck when I kick the shit out of them.
And taking a break from seeing Avengers Endgame, John Michael decided to grace us with the presents for a couple hours. How's it going, John Michael?
Pretty good. I mean, now that Endgame's out, I feel like I can almost retire from blockbuster movies.
There's no evidence that John Michael is not currently watching Endgame right now.
Ooh, that would make me so upset, John Michael. Don't do that.
When I messaged him, I was thinking, man, it's probably a 50-50 chance that he's going to be busy tonight.
I specifically didn't plan anything tonight just in case I was going to be on.
It's tradition.
Yeah.
Aww.
Our resident MCU expert.
I don't know if I'm an expert, but I'm a fanboy.
The fucking super fan. How about that?
Yeah.
How about a fictionado?
Yeah. The older I get, the more my memory's like Swiss cheese. So like I don't know if I'd be like the Wikipedia of people for the.
Well, that's why that's why you keep seeing them over and over again. Keep it fresh.
Yeah. And like you get older, and if the dementia sets in, it'll be like a new movie every time I go.
Yeah.
It's good.
You keep getting older, the movies stay the same age.
All right.
So we are going to spoil the ever-loving shit out of Endgame this episode, but not yet. We're not
just yet.
Because no, Jose hasn't seen it yet. There may be some of you out there that have not seen it. It's made about $11 bajillion, so most of you probably have already seen it.
$1.2 billion worldwide.
That's fucking preposterous. I mean, I get it. It makes sense. Like it should be this. I get it.
Once in a lifetime.
But fuck, man. But we're gonna get all nostalgic and shit first. Go through our top sixes of classic moments, which we got a lot of feedback on the Twitters, and we got all kinds of stuff talking about that.
Some emails.
So before we get into all that, let's talk a little bit about what the fuck's going on in our lives and whatnot. So went out with the lady to see the end game, the Avengers, kid free, which is always good. And since I like to live a little fucking dangerously, you guys, I know this about me. I'm a fucking rebel. We went and we had fucking Thai food before Avengers. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to roll the fucking dice. I'm going to have a spicy seafood Thai dish. Just sit down for a 3-hour movie. Because I'm a goddamn rebel. And you know what? It was okay. Shit worked out for me. But there was a minute where I'm like, I'll be all right. But there was a moment where I thought about halfway through this meal, like, this could be dumb. But it worked out okay. Highly recommend. Fucking no, it was something about a tom soup. I don't know what the fuck it was called. It was delicious. It had little bits of squid in it. Oh, shit was good. Shit was good.
I'm just gonna go to a Thai restaurant and play this part of the podcast and be like, I want this.
The hot thing is really hot. It's got squid bits in it, and it's got there's some scallops in there. It's fucking delicious. Would recommend. It was tasty. Then we left the little shopping, little late night Walmart excursion, and then on the way home, one of our friends was like, "Hey, want to stop by?" It's like 1 a.m. You know what we did? We said, "Yeah, got no kids. Fuck it. We're gonna go stop by see a friend at 1 a.m. And so we did.
Who's just like, hey, 1 a.m. want to come over? Like, unless they wanted to fuck you.
Yeah.
We have good friends. It's okay. It's all good.
They were like, "You want to come over, or should I tip this chair over and end it all?" 'Cause
Nah, I'm not the call to make in that situation. In most cases.
Because you would just be like, do it, you coward.
Yeah, pretty much. How much does that stepladder cost? Let's go. No, Nicole was walking by, and I walked by her, and she just had like this wall of fucking text on her phone tonight. I'm like, who the hell are you writing a dissertation to in your phone? Not knowing that, that's how, pretty white girls communicate primarily is through fucking text. But this was a large wall, even by Nicole standards. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And she's like, that fucking one bitch from daycare. I'm like, yeah. She goes, yeah, she's having some trouble with one of her boys, and just thought I'd reach out and kind of offer my support. I'm like, yeah, but you hate that broad. And she's like, yeah, but I can relate. And I go, you are either you're a better person than me, which is like a given, or you're a total chump, one of the two, because I'm not having that conversation with a person I actively don't like. There's no fucking way.
What, Lee? You need to tell them that they suck.
Oh, I have told her. No, she knows. She knows how I think she's.
Tell Nicole I got a few people she needs to text.
Yeah. Be good. Be fine. She's got a big heart. That Nicole Rodriguez. If not, maybe even too big.
She does.
Now, this is not the sniffles. So I don't want to go on the fucking calendar.
this is absolutely the sniffles.
It is not the sniffles.
Sounds like
What is this allergies? Is this what we're gonna claim? What is this?
Sound like a politician denying it before you say what happened.
Yeah.
I got like real bad vertigo for the past.
Yeah, okay.
Like, if I stand up for too long or walk around too much, I kind of want to fall down, which is a real problem.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh, it sucks. Like, but if I sit still for a little bit, it's cool. But like it just means my equilibrium was fucking shot. So taking some medicine, that's all fine. But all kind of came to a head Saturday night when I drove like an hour and a half to the small town called Dixon and watched a couple of my friends and some cage fights.
It's pronounced
Dick
Dick Skin, Lee.
It's Jimmy Dickskin in Tennessee, yes.
In Tennessee.
I realize all my friends that I hang out with in any kind of capacity are either nerds, fighters, or both, which is kind of an interesting combination of people. So we went all the way fucking out to the middle of nowhere to watch these guys fight, and I brought some cash. I thought I might need it. I got $30 in cash, walked in to buy my ticket, and they're like, all right, it's $25 general admission. Cool. She goes, if you want a chair, it's going to be $35.
Oh, no.
I'm like, but I have $30. If I stand too long, I will fall down. She goes, I want to tell you. Oh, shit. There's been a lot of times Saturday just leaning against a wall, trying to keep my shit together. But big ups to my buddy Alex. Kid's 18 years old, won his first cage fight. Was very impressive. He was thrilled. And then once the adrenaline wore off, he vomited profusely and felt a lot better about life. So
nice.
Yeah, get that demon out.
Mm-hmm.
It's dude, nothing will make you feel better. No matter what's going on. If you think you need to throw up, fucking do it. Don't like I know people that will go to great lengths to keep from puking. Fuck that. If I think no, we're just gonna go for it because you will feel better. And if I could get even better, I'm pretty good at puking, you guys. If I could get better at it, I would be thin. I'm just saying.
I agree with you most of the time. If you're feeling sick and you gotta puke, just get rid of it. But sometimes whatever you ate last was just too expensive just to waste.
Oh God,
That's true. That's a good point.
It's not going down the second time, man. And then lastly, kind of along the same vein, I went to did some training tonight, and I got the last stripe on my blue belt, which is pretty cool. It's kind of a big deal. So the next step is shiny new purple belt, which is kind of fucking nuts. It's huge. So everybody was,
man.
and I'm very proud of it. It's very affirming, and it feels really nice. And I also like because when you get promoted, everyone says nice shit about you before they give you a stripe, and it's nice. So it's like, oh, this is nice. This is good affirmation. It makes you feel good.
You just get compliment roasted.
Yeah, it is a compliment roast. Yeah, and there's a blister on my hand from where I was choking this dude with his jacket tonight. Like I give myself like a blister, rug burn thing, whatever the fuck, like on the palm of my hand, choking this guy out with his jacket.
Man,
which is kind of rad.
If I was sparring with Lee, I would leave my jacket at home.
I think I'm just gonna take my jacket off. Just not gonna wear it tonight.
Yeah.
The only thing better than choking someone with your jacket is choking someone with their jacket. Like, there's nothing else that even compares to it. Like, that's the only other thing. That's the fucking best. What's going on with you guys?
Nothing much besides, talking about Endgame, watching Endgame, tweeting.
I haven't really talked about it at all, so I got it all just chambered for tonight.
Well, I have discussed it at length with a few select people, but I haven't been very public about it at all because that's dickish. But besides that, big ups to Kelly and his buddy John, right? John Mitchell?
Yeah. No. That's
no,
just
John.
man.
Just John.
Yes, just
we
John.
we talking about toilet dog guy?
No.
No.
Toilet dog.
I mean, it could have been for all I know. But
It's not.
Busy or something? He wasn't around.
John found the Leonardo and Donatello Ninja Turtles 2-packs at Target, and through Kelly hooked me up. So I got those coming to me sometime later this week. So
Yeah, he just called me Saturday night while I was at work and was like, "Hey, I found these. Do you know which ones Nice needs?"
that's fucking awesome.
Nice.
So great.
Is John J-Pop?
No.
Okay. Because J-Pop's in the chat right now, and he also submitted a top 6. I was thinking Jay, might have been him. Who knows? But that's awesome. So, I've been going to Target for once a week since Toy Fair and haven't seen a single fucking Turtles 2-pack. But thanks to the kindness of my friends and strangers, I got all 4 2-packs coming to me.
You did it.
God
Love it.
bless. Now I want to quit my goddamn NECA ambassadorship.
You guys fucking, any of you guys out there come across one of the fancy new Lord Zed figures at a Target, holler at me, because that's the last one that I need.
No doubt. But like,
I don't have any of them yet because fucking dumbass Target's like, "Hey, I know you ordered this in February, but it's back ordered."
Yeah, even though they're showing up in Target stores, which is a
I hate
weird
it.
thing.
I hate it so much.
I can't quite figure out how that's a thing, but
And of course, Zed is the short pack one, the coolest figure in the thing. I will never understand that bullshit.
yeah, I've been kind of I found a couple, like I found one at Walmart, one at a Target, so I've just been canceling pieces of the Target pre-order.
I've found them at Target and Walmart, but every one that I have seen in person has just god awful paint job.
that's
Yeah, I've
terrible.
heard that's a big issue with these.
Yeah, like I'm overly picky in general, but even if I were a little bit more lax on it, like there's still like a lot of QC issues.
My Target just does not get new stock in. They still have numerous figures of that awful Poe Dameron Black Series figure with the unibrow.
Oh.
Jam, if you find a Lord Zed and he doesn't have a paint job, I got a guy who paints toys slightly different colors that they already are.
God damn it.
I'll
I'm not
keep
even
it
talking
in mind.
about the fucking paint I put on the Shadow Ranger last night, because fuck you.
If I get ones with bad paint jobs, Lee, I may just put them in a box and send them to you with a note that says, "Please fix this." Thank you.
I got it. I got you.
That's what I want to do with my Papa John's minion. I want to put it in a box and send it to Lee and be like, turn this into Cookie Monster or something.
I will paint the shit out of that minion. I got you.
What do the words Papa John's minion mean in that?
I have a minion of Papa John.
Why?
Bought for me lovingly by my dear friend, Nice.
Yes.
Way back before he was a known horrible racist man.
Right.
Oh,
So
that's
now
okay.
now
I
I just have a
understand.
racist minion.
Custom painted by Viet.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So I don't know what I'm supposed to do with racist Papa John minion.
Oh, you
Oh,
keep
then
it.
just you live with that.
I guess. I just don't want people to mistake it for support.
I feel like it has only increased in value.
Probably.
Well, it's kind of like
but like the guy I'm selling it to is going to show up with some questionable tattoos.
yeah, it's kind of like when the guys were coming here to install my cable, and I had my "Make America Rage Again" hat sitting out. But like, if you don't really pay close attention to it, it looks like I'm a fucking MAGA asshole. Oh, big fan of Papa John, huh? Yeah, F the blacks. Oh, you guys! There was way too much silence after that.
Yeah.
Mark it.
Lee, put that in the new intro.
Please don't. Please don't. I love the blacks.
Put that in there too.
Just put those clips back to back.
I fucking dare you.
Oh, that's fantastic. What's going on, you, Jose?
Wrecking in Tennessee.
Give us one good reason why you haven't seen Endgame yet.
I saw it.
He was out of town.
They don't got movie theaters where you were.
I don't think there was a movie theater near me.
They have some bomb-ass movie theaters in Nashville.
Plus, everyone.
Nashville?
He
You don't think they have movie theaters in Nashville?
he wouldn't have been able to find a ticket because the NFL draft was in Nashville. Fucking every basic white chick was having their bachelorette party in Nashville. What was the other
And
thing?
they were pissed.
There was a Buffett concert.
Buffett concert. All the NFL concerts. Prom.
You know what all this sounds like? Things that people probably would have been doing other than going to see Endgame. So he probably could have had his choice of ticket.
Yeah, but there's no way. I would have bought a ticket and then I would have been stuck working and then wasted money.
Yeah.
Have you stayed spoiler free?
I have.
That's
All I
awesome.
know is that the movie came out.
Remarkable.
That's
Time to
spectacular.
ruin that.
Please don't.
So they got these fucking motorized scooters. Watch out, folks.
Oh, this is
Pothole.
in Nashville?
Yeah.
Every time I see one of those things, I just say out loud to Nicole, those things are a fucking menace.
I watched
Yeah, but they're great, though. They're fucking great, but they can be a menace.
I watched a video about those recently, and one of the companies that started doing those, it's essentially electronic scooters that you rent with an app, and then you can fucking ride them around or whatever. But
Cool.
Oh yeah, those things are illegal here.
the company that basically started those, the scooters weren't lasting long enough because of misuse and people beating the shit out of them to pay for themselves. Like, they were losing money hand over fist on these.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing I'm going to do with a scooter that I rent from an app is ride that thing right off of the top of a building and see if I can land it.
People were throwing them in lakes, setting them on fire.
Jesus.
And then when you're done riding it, you just leave it wherever.
yeah,
At
Well,
the bottom of the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
You're supposed to park it, take a picture of it, and that ends the ride. And they have like designated park areas. If you park it somewhere else, they'll keep charging you. They figured out ways around it, but they have doubled in amount. Like when we went there last year, there was a handful of birds. We went there this year. There's a shitload of birds.
Oh, they're called birds. I was thinking you hit a pothole
there's
and
just
killed a
fucking
bird.
birds everywhere.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how the bird got brought down by a pothole. I was
Right.
like, that doesn't sound like a very good bird.
Well,
supposed to be up above those.
the joke will make more sense here in a second. But there's birds, lime, spin. Uber is now doing one. Lyft is doing one.
Orlando has orange.
Well, those are bikes.
Those are the bikes, not the
Yeah,
scooters.
Orlando does the orange bike and then City Bike. I think City Bike was doing them way before the birds came out.
Right.
They had those rent the bikes. But like the price of the bird has doubled since last time. Like they're doing all right.
You all right, Bird?
So sometimes we're not connected to wherever we're doing the event. So it could be 2-mile walk. And I don't wake up early enough to get to work on time. With
What?
Shit.
Hey, he's just waiting on you guys.
Fucking goose.
So you jump on a bird and just fucking zippity doo dah day right down there.
Put that in the fucking intro.
Get done with work, going to ride the bird back, take a shower, wash the balls, go eat. Everything's going fine. Going down Smashville, dude screaming, trying to high five everybody. So I fucking give him a high five. No wreck. All works out. Right in front of the hotel, heading downhill, driving on the street, which I don't ever do. I always drive on the road or on the sidewalk because street dangerous, man.
It's true.
That street hits back.
You got those pedal pubs that'll run your ass over.
Not as many as those this time.
No?
Wonder why. All you crazy ladies who don't do your fucking homework. So hit a pothole, a fucking something. I don't know what the fuck it was. All I know is it spun the steering wheel sideways, which, you know, if anybody knows how wheels work, once it goes sideways, it stops going forward.
I've heard that.
So I go flying over the fucking bike in air, midair,
No.
thinking this cool.
This is it?
Cool.
It's like, I didn't even see Endgame.
Oh!
Fucking hit the ground. You hear like gasps because like this isn't like around nobody. This is right in front of the hotel. I'm about to go into.
There's plenty of witnesses.
Yeah, so there's people checking into the hotel. There's people leaving the hotel waiting on Ubers. There's the guy behind me who stays at the hotel with me, who was riding the bird back with me. And fucking, I remember my face getting on the ground and me thinking, this sucks. So I picked my head up off the ground, rolled, jumped right the fuck back up, though, like I was goddamn 12.
You got it. You'll feel it later.
Oh, still,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Not. The later is still happening. So I fucked up my wrist, sprained that really pretty bad. Fucked my shoulder up a little bit. May or may not have bruised or pulled my tit. I don't know how that works, but that shit hurts.
Oh, I've pulled a tit before. I've pulled a couple.
So what's cool though is sprained my wrist, couldn't move it, iced it all day, and then slowly as the weekend went, I kept trying to use it a little bit, and it would keep popping.
Ooh.
That is the best
And
feeling.
it would hurt for a quick second, but then all of a sudden, all the pain went away, and I was able to have more rotation in my wrist, and then like. Just doing random dumb shit throughout the day, my wrist would pop, and I would shed a quick tear, and then be able to move my wrist again.
It's just like that poor Indian on the side of the road with people polluting out their car window. I'm sorry, Native American.
There you go.
I'm sorry, ice person.
Oh, wait, no.
Get it straight.
This went wrong.
So that was cool. And then I was going to try to meet up with Lee, but I could barely.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, had a scooter accident, fell off a scooter. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe they had, like, fucking, I don't know, maybe there's scooters at the convention center. He fucking took a double on maybe some plush carpet, but, just not feeling it. And he was like, no, on the street.
Yeah. I can tell you what Nashville tastes like. I've tasted the city road.
Oh, God.
That
Brought new meaning to
story
Smashville.
of how Jose got hepatitis.
Yeah, you see that shit? Fucking Coachella be bringing the herps. What's up with that?
Oh, come
That's
on.
not shocking. That's like the least shocking thing I've ever heard.
At least 250 cases each day.
My God.
Oh,
people
God.
at
Like
Coachella
new herpes
getting
cases?
STDs?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, there's like
the
there's a tent specifically for STDs at Coachella.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
the rise of herpes at Coachella has like doubled over the years. And they said it was at least 250 new outbreaks each day of Coachella.
That is terrible.
Oh.
Stop. Maybe you should just stop rubbing your things on other things. I wonder how many of those were just from like people using the toilet, though.
I don't think that really happens, Kelly.
Well, they said a lot of it is it's sharing fucking drugs and joints and drinking after people you don't know just because it's rainbow time.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Bring your own drugs, people. Know
I
what
thought
you're
it was
hitting
so
before
funny.
you hit it.
I just thought it was so funny. Like, Jose won't drink a bottle of water that I put my mouth on, but he'll fucking share a joint with a stranger.
It depends on the stranger. But don't think I'm not doing my due
It
diligence. and
depends on
checking
how
this fucker
good the
out
joint
before I hit
smells.
it.
Do they look like herpy people?
If so, I'll
No?
be like, oh,
All right.
man, just smoked. I'm good.
Yeah, because you can kind of tell.
So what are you saying? Do you think I have herpes?
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Man, check out this weather.
I mean, no one's ever said that you don't have herpes.
He's saying that you might be a carrier for the herpes virus.
Maybe.
Not that you have-
you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
It's all that fucking I was doing in my
Yep.
life.
And your weirdly chapped balls.
Yeah. My various sexual partners.
Just
Yep.
slinging dick back in the day.
Just
Fucking
rubbing
amazing.
my lips
Pipe.
on airport toilet seats.
So many pools were laid
Oh.
with all that pipe. I don't know.
Well, we're glad you're safe.
Yeah, I don't recommend eating the street to anybody.
Yeah,
But-
come to Nashville, eat the chicken. The hot chicken's where it's at, not the hot sidewalk.
Yeah, not the hot pavement. But I'll tell you what, weekend you'll never forget if you eat both.
Believe that. What's up, Kelly?
Fucking nothing.
You selling all those Avengers comics?
Oh, yeah. No, not really. People don't fucking care about comic books. I mean, I've been reading comic books, but, like, I don't know.
And like at this point, this movie made $1.2 billion in its first weekend. At this point, it's not going to change. Like they're not going to start promoting comic books.
Yeah, no, it's
Nah.
like if people knew about comics, they'd come in and care.
Yeah, they
But
had a
don't.
chance. They had a chance 11 years ago when they released Iron
Yeah.
Man, but
They've had 21 other movie chances to care about comics. But guess what? They don't.
So
But
is
you know
that
what?
opening the record?
oh yeah, it broke
Oh,
all the
Shattered
records.
it.
The only record that is still currently out of reach is all-time worldwide gross, and that is Avatar with I think 2.4 billion. So
I think it's at like 2.7 something billion.
Okay. So it's still a ways away, but doable if Endgame has good word of mouth, which it absolutely fucking does.
I think it will, because like it's at least like it's a culmination of something and not just the fucking nothing film that Avatar is. Why do I keep calling them film? Like,
Yeah, but Avatar is the start of a great franchise, soon to come out after multiple delays, but will eventually come out because the people wanted it.
Kelly, you probably call them films because of your time spent in your film studies class.
True.
Yes.
I don't know if we were on the air for this, but I called the Sonic the Hedgehog movie a film a couple minutes ago.
Make
and
sure
like,
you properly capitalize it in all of your tweets.
Yes.
True. But like that stuck with me.
The biggest thing for me that I'm worried that Endgame won't topple Avatar is that Avatar came out in December of 2009. So it had December and like January, February, March. It had a lot of time without really any competition.
Right.
We're coming up on Detective Pikachu and Aladdin.
Yeah,
and
it's the start of the summer movie season, so it's
Oh man, Detective Pikachu's gonna fucking wreck Endgame.
This movie season is no joke.
Let me tell you something. Jose, this isn't a spoiler. I'm going to say something about Endgame. You know when I was most excited about Endgame? When the Detective Pikachu trailer aired before the movie.
It's a really good trailer, you guys.
That was by far my favorite part of the movie experience.
Oh my god.
I'm not even joking. Like, that's a shoot. I don't... Guys, I cannot wait for that movie.
Detective Pikachu is the first movie that my son, who will be 5 next month, has ever actively been waiting for, and he is fucking over the wait.
I don't give a fuck about Pokemon, and I am so on board.
Yeah. I watched that trailer, and I'm like, I don't know who any of these things are. I don't know why. They're like they got that dude who flies up through the parade balloon, and they have the dramatic shot and pause on him, because I guess I'm supposed to know who that is and care.
That's
I don't know who
Mewtwo.
that is and care.
Oh, that's YouTube.
Yeah, I don't care, but still looks good. Still gonna go see it.
Yeah, Jack's all about YouTube. He'll tell you that's who it is. It's YouTube. Yeah, Nicole, we watched the trailer. Nicole the trailer. She was super pissed. She's like, "God damn it!" What? She goes, "That looks fucking great." I don't give a shit about Pokemon. Yeah, no, it looks amazing.
But yeah, there was a moment before the movie started. We were sitting waiting for the theater to clear out, and it's like, oh wait, here come people. They're talking about the movie. So like, oh shit, we need to talk over them. So I go to my friends. I'm like, hey guys, what animal do you think you could beat in a fight? And then just the conversation started rolling from there. And boy, howdy, did we get some looks. Because you just get dudes talking like, yeah, I think I could take a female deer.
No.
Go? A deer?
Yes, I think I could. I wouldn't fuck with a male deer, but I think I could knock the shit out of a female deer.
All right.
Because I'm not going to fuck around with the antlers. Anything with antlers, I ain't fucking with.
I would like to continue this conversation and hear what other animals Kelly can beat up.
I definitely think I could beat up a squirrel if I can catch it.
I can catch you, you little shit! I'm gonna fuck you up!
I don't think I could beat up a raccoon.
No, they're feisty.
I wouldn't even try with, like, a turkey.
You ain't taking on no gobble gobble?
No, God,
Peacocks
no.
are also hard to take. I got attacked by a peacock once.
I thought you said 2 cocks are also hard to take. I was like, what does that have to do with anything?
I don't know, but it's in the new intro.
I wouldn't fight any bird bigger than, like, a crow.
Yeah, birds don't fuck around, man.
Because that's just a dinosaur.
Like, I've watched, like, when we're talking about trying to fuck up a goose, I've watched, in my Rent-A-Cop days, I watched one goose terrorize an entire fucking gaggle of human beings. Like, they're not okay.
What? It's got such... You just grab the neck, swinging around over your head.
Oh my god.
You reach for a fucking gooseneck, you're bringing back some nubs. Like, you got zero fucking chance.
My family and I were chased by a pack of geese once.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Too bad I wasn't there to save you, Kelly.
That would have been awesome.
I would have had a goose in each hand, swinging them like nunchucks.
Beating other geese with them.
What animals do you guys think you could fight?
There are geese all over where I live, like all over the place. And there are days when I come home from work and they piss me off, and I do contemplate just wrecking them.
Zero in the chat. Zero in the chat says, "Why no heads up? We were doing top 6 animals you'd fight." Now, are we talking fight, or are we talking fight to the death? Because
I mean, that's up to you.
Well, like
how far do you want to take it?
I
mean,
feel.
Let's assume there's a referee in to stop it.
Yeah, but like after the referee stops it, is the animal going to listen?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like an animal.
Okay.
It knows it's in for a fight.
I was just saying because like I could use my brute strength to just fucking murder a small animal, but I don't know if I would want to like fisticuffs one.
That's not very sporting. That's what you're saying.
Look, if you die in the fight, you can kill the animal in the fight. You don't have to.
Gladiator
but you
rule.
can. Yeah.
Well, not to sound like a complete serial killer, but I think I could murder a lot of animals.
I can pick up a number of small dogs, I feel like.
Well, no, why do we have to murder a dog?
Yeah,
Who's gonna fight a dog.
You just best them in a friendly combat.
We're talking about shitty animals like geese and squirrels.
Yeah.
Why
he
are we
chokes
killing
out
dogs
people
all of a
with their
sudden?
clothes regularly. He doesn't kill them.
I'm not saying I want to. I'm just saying if fucking push comes to shove, I can fuck up a cocker spaniel in a heartbeat.
Just take your shirt off and choke the dog with it.
Yeah. I would choke the dog with its own jacket.
Yeah. Lee shows up and throws the animal a jacket. Put it on.
Oh.
Put it on.
You know what this is about. You know what you did. And then John Wick comes and fucks my shit up.
So then we ran out of animals to talk about. So I said, and there are still people coming out because we just hit the first wave of people. Like, you know, the people that are like, fuck whatever's happening after these credits. And they just stroll out immediately. Because there's always those people, and you're like, what are you doing?
The normies.
So we had to wait for the second group.
movies in. That's such a rookie fucking move.
Yeah, so we had to wait for the second group of people to come out, too. So once they started coming, that's when we're like, oh, no, again. And I go, what Pokemon would you guys eat?
Eat?
Yeah. Which one would you eat?
Oh, straight up Squirtle.
Literally all of them.
Squirtle?
Yeah, Squirtle would be delicious.
I would try any of them that aren't like people.
Which ones are like people?
Mr. Mime.
Like a gun ninja or something?
Jinx.
Jinx is the blackface one, right?
Yeah, but now it's purple face. Like, I wouldn't eat Jinx. No, that's too close. Anything too close to, like, Machamp? No.
Yeah, but Jinx kind of looks like a giant eggplant, too. You know, get some mozzarella cheese and some tomato sauce.
Too close to
I think you're all wrong. I think the fact that they are so close to people is the reason you want to eat them first, because you can never eat an actual person.
Are you just going around eating monkeys, Lee?
You can't eat an actual person, but you just really kind of want to? Is that what we're talking about here?
No, I'm not saying necessarily want to. When are you going to have the chance? I was like, okay, look. Like, I know, like, you know. Like, I'm sorry. But this guy ninja's got to go. I bet he's succulent. And then somewhere in the back of your mind, like, I wonder this is what long pit tastes like.
Would you eat a monkey?
Oh, for sure.
No.
100%. 100%.
I just look at
gross.
one. I look at one eaten Mr. Mime as one less Mr. Mime that exists, and that's why he's the number one I would eat.
Good answer.
So I would just eat something reasonable like a Magikarp.
Yeah, Magikarp works perfectly.
That feels like, I feel like it'd be really, really gross.
No, a little lemon garlic butter? Come on.
Yeah, it's just a fish.
My mind immediately went to Farfetch'd. Like,
well, yeah, because that one is like it walks around with the leek you put in the dish when you kill it and cook it.
Man, I do not know Pokemons.
Yeah, I don't. This is like when Kelly just makes up wrestler names.
I'd eat Vanillish because it looks like an ice cream cone, and I want to know if it's actually sentient ice cream.
Yes. I don't know what that is, but I agree. I'll take 3.
I wouldn't eat any ghost Pokemon because those maybe were people as well.
But also lower in calories.
True.
You can eat a whole bag of ghost Pokemon and not even.
We also decided that in some like ass backwards countries, they probably have like evolve Eevees and kill them as they're evolving.
That's fucking dark, dog.
All right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Welcome
Now,
to the new
I'm
sounder
uncomfortable.
pool day.
We're
This is
gonna
a
get an
beautiful thing.
entire intro out of today.
Yep.
Good.
Demonetize that, you Google ass bitch.
Yeah. Ah, shit. What you got going on, Mahoney?
I was not prepared for me to be next. I don't have much going on at all. Just a lot of working and living and doing things. I have been really highly invested in a story about Juan's eye appointment. I've been hearing about that a lot, so waiting to see how that turns out. And
Like a real
other than
fucking
that,
nail-biter.
I am playing fucking Avengers Endgame on Fortnite because it's two great tastes that taste great together. So.
What have they done with the Fort knife?
They have taken all of like Cap's shield and Iron Man's blasters and Hawkeye's bow and Stormbreaker and dropped those right into the game. And so you're either on the hero team where you have some of those weapons, as many as you get, or you're a Chitauri with all these crazy laser blasters.
Well, that's
Or
kinda
if you're
neat.
lucky, you're Thanos and you can do all sorts of shit. And
Yeah, when the first Avengers came out, they dropped you could be Thanos.
yeah. So now you're Thanos, but you also have the other half of the people or your army, and they drop an Infinity Stone every so often, and it's just whoever gets to it first.
Oh, that's cool.
If you're the heroes, you're trying to keep the Chitauri from getting it, and if you're the Chitauri, you're trying to get it. And the
Man.
more you get, the stronger Thanos gets. It's whoever wipes out the other first.
Man, I kind of want to do a fork knife now.
You know, it's a little cool.
Dude, let's go kill some 12-year-olds together.
Let's do it. You're gonna get real frustrated because some 6-year-old's gonna kill you and then talk shit to you, and you're gonna be like, "You shouldn't you be in bed?"
You're gonna be
West Coast, eat my diaper.
you're gonna get called the N-word by a child.
That has happened to me. So
And this is on Switch?
This
Kids-
is on anything.
Kids saying the N-word on Switch?
you haven't lived until a child's voice calls you the N-word, and you say, "Okay,
I thought
all right, I don't need this."
I thought the only N-word on Switch was Nintendo.
No.
Oh, now I gotta play.
I thought the only F word was fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it will happen immediately. Anything going on we're talking about, John Michael?
Come on.
Just
real quick, how many times have you seen the ended game so far?
only 6.
Only so that's about 18 hours and change.
Yeah.
If that's yeah.
21 if you count trailers.
Yeah, I've watched. I've seen the movie fully 6 times, but there are specific moments in the movie that I have gone online and watched bootleg, recordings of about 40 times.
Oh yeah, I think it was Saturday night. Some foreigner uploaded a bunch of 2-minute clips from Endgame, and I was just like, yes, I will watch all of these now. Thank you.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like waking up in the morning, sitting on the toilet and watching the same clip 30 times and just crying every time.
Oh.
So that's
You got a weird relationship with porn, JM.
if you don't cry, you're not doing it right.
Normally, I cry out of my penis.
That's going in the
Tears
intro
of
for sure.
joy.
It's more of a weep.
Yeah. Told you, we're getting an entire intro's worth out tonight.
I fucking dare you. All right, so we want to do these top 6s because it is getting late.
Let's do
Yeah,
these top
what the
6.
fuck we been doing?
Bullshitting?
Top 6 Pokemon you'd have sex with. I need to
Oh,
create.
well.
I need a top 6 sounder, but I've been brainstorming it. I just can't figure it out yet.
Hey, everybody, it's time for your top 6.
Yeah, we might just have to have Kelly record something, and then get a banana.
I'll just record 20 minutes of that.
Yes. Yes. I dare you.
That shit on a loop.
Did you set up your new microphone?
I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh!
I didn't realize it's coming from India.
Oh.
They don't have a Best Buy in Wisconsin?
You couldn't find a movie theater in Nashville, so I'm just saying.
Oh, snap.
Oh, yeah, but I
got
wasn't
him.
looking. I
Got
knew
him.
I wasn't seeing it.
You'd think you would have seen at least a couple when you were flying through the air.
Yeah.
I made up some scenes in my mind.
Watching
going
it all fall
first.
apart.
Do we want to head to Facebook or Twitter, or what do you think, Lee?
We'll just kind of dive in between because we got a whole bunch.
All right.
I can pull up the Twitter ones if you.
I've got them all pulled up. If
Oh, perfect.
yeah,
Perfect. Well, then fucking never mind.
I'm fucking on top of this.
Yeah, so we decided we're going to go in the way back, pull up your top 6 MCU moments, excluding Endgame for obvious fucking reasons.
Obvious reasons.
Don't be an
Plus,
asshole.
it's too
about it.
fresh. It's too fresh. Like,
Top 6 moments of Endgame you want to spoil for Jose.
God, there's a lot on the Twitter. Holy shit, love it. So yeah, fuck it. I'll go first because
cool.
it's our show. We get to go whenever we want to.
Sure.
And this was hard. This is like trying to do a book report, like the day it's due.
I whittled it down to a list of about 40, and then had to pick 6 from there.
Yeah.
Is it weird that I just knocked mine out this afternoon? Like it
Yeah.
was nothing?
Yeah, it is.
No, I don't think it's weird. I think that's par for the course with your opinion of the MCU, and that's
Yeah,
not
it
an
fits.
insult whatsoever.
No, it fits. Yes.
Like I believe Kristen's review of Endgame was, it's not my thing, but I'm glad other people like it. And I was like, you know what? That's exactly your opinion of the entire MCU, so I fucking accept that. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. All right, so these are kind of ordered. Let's assume that these are the order.
And
So
let's take it easy on honorable mentions and shout outs.
we're not going to shout out. We're not going to honorable
Yeah,
mention.
just top 6.
I ain't got that kind of fucking time. But number 6. Anytime Lewis tells a story.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. That almost made my list.
Yeah, fucking Lewis telling the story is the fucking best. And there was that sort of the internet by and large. It's like, oh man, it'd be great if they did like a MCU recap video with Lewis. Yeah, they would have been. That would have been great.
Yeah, I think they did do that, but they only showed it at San Diego or something like that. I think that's why that's in the mind of all of us. Like it happened, but we just haven't seen it.
Oh.
I could be.
I would
wrong.
watch that. That'd be great.
Speaking of that kind of thing, someone was telling me that when they saw the movie, there was like a PSA before the movie from a bunch of actors saying to not spoil the movie.
How about you eat my farts? Like, no,
Don't do that.
Well, I mean,
No, I mean like the
seen-
actors from the movie.
yeah,
I've
that's terrible.
seen that PSA, but not in the movie
yeah,
theater.
it's all over
Okay.
Twitter, but no, they didn't show it before our screening.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't get that either.
Like you gotta fucking tell me about not. Then again, you gotta tell people not to fucking text. So maybe you should tell people not to do that. I don't know. I don't know the fucking rules.
Well, the Uber app now make sure to mention to check your driver because some chick jumped into the wrong car and got fucking murdered.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
What does that have to do with this? But yes, good lesson.
No, this is just a cool story. I don't know. Number 5, any of the one-shot fights in Daredevil. The first one is kind of probably, is the one that sticks out the most. But the one in season 3 is fucking enormous in scope, man. That fight through the prison is kind of outstanding. Like,
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
yeah, and it just kept on going. It's like, wow, when are they gonna cut? Oh wait, not until he fucking leaves. That's outstanding.
And the Punisher going through the jail, ending up at Kingpin too.
Yeah, and that's my number 4. Is any chance the Punisher gets to go fucking nuts? Like, fucking the peak Shane House, man. And both seasons have a couple of great moments. He's just, like yelling and fucking machine gunning dudes and just Shane Housing it the fuck up. Like either he's bloody beyond reason or the other fucking dude is bloody beyond reason, or perhaps even everyone's all fucked up. Like that's good Punisher nonsense. Love it. Number 3, Cap jumps on their grenade in the first Avenger.
Aww.
Like that's way early MCU, but it's one of those moments early on where you're like, oh no, they fucking get it. Like they get it. Like this is all gonna be great. I'm super on board. Number 2, I'm always angry. Fucking watching for the first time watching Banner transform into the Hulk, because like it's never happened before then. Like it's always been like you've seen parts of them, or he's been obscured by fog or whatever. But like one shot, couple of seconds transformation, fantastic. And then I think my number 1 is the climax of Age of Ultron, because that is pre anything that happens in Endgame. That is peak Avengers. Everyone's working together, doing real superhero shit,
saving civilians.
It's saving civilians, fighting robots. Like it's a comic book. It's a comic book come to life. That whole sequence in Sokovia is outstanding. It's fucking great.
Wow, you gave Age of Ultron a number 1.
When you said it, I thought you were joking, and then I was like, "No, he's serious." And that's not an awful scene. So I don't know why I thought you were joking.
No, it's fucking great. No, like just it's everyone's doing real, legit superhero shit, and it's the one of the only times that everyone's all together on the same page. Because the next time they're all together, they're fighting. Like it's and like even in Infinity War, like the group is still very fractured. So that's that is peak Avengers, is that whole sequence in Ultron. Yeah. It's great. Love it. So yeah, that's mine.
Good one. Some real interesting picks in there. I have a feeling these are going to be a lot more varied than I expected. I
completely forgot about the Netflix shows. And
I totally forgot too.
To coin a phrase from Kelly, the non-film MCU.
Yes.
Let's go to Twitter. We've got Chloe at Fayette Vamp gives her top 6. Iron Man first stepping into the armor. Cap coming out of the super soldier pod. Mjolnir flying to Thor's hand. So these are all kind of like
early on
origin,
the iconic
bits.
early on moments.
Avengers ensemble fly around camera shot. Yeah, that's about like if we're talking most iconic shots in the MCU, like that's the cover of the book. The Cap elevator scene versus the jet, when I guess after he beats the shit out of everybody in Winter Soldier, there's the jet that shoots out the elevator.
He jumps out of the elevator and then
he fights the jet.
Then he gets on a motorcycle and leaves, and then fights the jet.
Yeah. And then Thor forging Stormbreaker with giant Peter Dinklage. Pfft, no thanks.
That's a weird one.
Yeah. Like, take Peter Dinklage out of there, and then I'm all for it. Like, it's a good Thor scene. It's a good Thor, Groot, Rocket Raccoon scene, but goddamn, Peter Dinklage is the absolute worst. But it's, everybody's got their own opinion here. Well, John Michael actually submitted his on Twitter. John Michael, you wanna read through yours? He submitted his top 6, and then he tweeted at us another 3 times.
I was kind of hoping he'd just say, like, nah, read it for me. You do it.
This kind of like, I don't have to read all of everything that I sent, but
please don't.
Thank you. This really kind of broke me, because like I said, when I saw it, I just kind of like shot, like I just typed out 7 things in the first tweet, and then the more I thought of them, like, oh crap, and there's this moment, and then this moment, and then this moment. I have a hard time making top lists, because anytime I omit something, in my mind that means that I'm declaring to people that I don't like it.
Yeah, you're insulting these other moments.
Yeah.
You hate these movies besides the 6 things you said.
It's very hard. But what I put as my top 6, or technically 7, because 6 I had 2 things because I couldn't decide, is the I Am Iron Man from the end of the first Iron Man movie.
Solid.
I just love that because it set up kind of the tone for the universe of like we're not screwing around with the bullshit bodyguard story.
Secret
And then
identity, yeah.
And then I also put or Thor showing up in Wakanda in Infinity War. I just love that shot, and I love it happens right when kind of like most like all hope seems lost, and then frickin' Stormbreaker just comes cutting through everything.
And the reaction in the theater to that is just amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Number 5, Killmonger's ancestor speech. I just
Solid.
really love that moment, and I like the ending for the character, but it does make me sad that theoretically he's done, because I just really loved him as the villain in that movie.
Yeah, anytime they gave him a number of lines, you're glued to the screen.
Yeah, like I love Killmonger, and I would watch.
Probably,
I mean, that's the movie I've seen the most in theaters.
One of my favorite, just a good Killmonger bit, and then he's jacking the vibranium out of the museum, you know, and he grabs that mask and like, oh, is that vibranium too? He goes, nah, I'm just feeling it. And he walks off with it.
Maybe one of the best performances in all the MCU.
I completely agree.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
Number 4, that Avenger. This is kind of cheating because it's a long moment, but the 360 shot of the Avengers from the first movie, leading into Cap calling it, and then him ending it with "and Hulk smash," and then that grin on. I love the shot, but that moment of him telling Hulk to smash, I just really love that.
Okay, boss. No, that definitely counts as a moment. That whole sequence.
That whole thing was just great, and that also shows like Cap stepping into. I love Iron Man taking a back seat and telling Cap to call it and letting Cap be Cap. Really nice. Number 3, the Nick Fury post-credit scene from Iron Man 1.
Oh,
while that's not my favorite moment, that's still the moment that like this is really happening.
Yes!
I remember. Like,
oh yeah,
I
this is something different.
Yeah, like I clearly remember the first time I saw that.
They're fucking doing it,
and like they're nothing. Like it's come to the full realization has happened now, but that moment of like, no, we're actually doing this is just fantastic. Number 2 is the Cap elevator fight. I mean, for obvious reasons, and then number 1 is Cap jumping on the grenade, and that. I can't think of a moment that better illustrates a character than that. It's like in that one moment, you know exactly who this guy is, exactly what he's about, and I literally go back and watch that moment at least once every few weeks. I love it. So
yeah, so when Stanley Tucci's like, yeah, see, asshole, this is the fucking guy.
Yep, and then Tommy Lee Jones is me still skinny. Like I don't know. I just
it is.
And I also love that moment.
Finest performance.
I also love that moment because Peggy also runs towards like when you watch like she's running towards it too, so that also shows her character. Steve just gets to it first, but she is running towards it as well.
She was gonna shove it down her shirt like Jessica Rabbit. All you see is a little puff of smoke. We got Ben. Ben chimed in on Twitter. Number 6, he also says the Daredevil hallway fight reminded him of the side-scrolling brawl in Oldboy. Number 5
very much so.
Is the title sequence in Guardians of the Galaxy, a funny homage to the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you get the whole Star-Lord dancing to Come and Get Your Love. That's amazing. Number 4.
I really wanted to add that to my list because I feel like cool scene, but also really set the tone for like this is what it is. Like
absolutely,
it's a funny homage to Indiana Jones, and that is exactly what you should expect with the rest of this movie.
Yeah,
so.
I really wanted to include one of those musical moments from the Guardians movies, and I have the Baby Groot dance as an honorable mention, but it just didn't make the top 6 for me.
Yeah,
I forgot about the Baby Groot dance. Yeah.
Where were we? Number 4, Hey Everyone, from Captain America Civil War. Spider-Man.
Oh, I was like, I don't know that.
He says he saw the trailer and yelled, "He looks perfect." Number 3, the 360 hero shot in Avengers looked like a splash page come to life.
1000%.
Number 2, Cap's raid on Batroc's boat in Winter Soldier, a kick-ass action sequence.
That is so good.
And number 1, I'm here to tell you about the Avenger Initiative from Iron Man. Gave him goosebumps in the theater.
Yeah, I actually missed that the first time.
Oh no! Fucking rookie move.
Well, because we didn't know about the fucking credits.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know that it was a different time. You didn't know that was a thing, and so it wasn't until like the next day when people were like, hey, yo, did you know that this fucking thing happened? And I had to look it up. I'd watch it on fucking YouTube like a cam footage because I had no idea until I didn't get to see it for real until it came out on Blu-ray.
It's like it's not the first movie to like set up a sequel or try to set up a continuation or whatever, but after you get done watching that first Iron Man movie and how at the time flawless it was, and
it's still flawless,
and they're just like, hey, how about you guys want some Avengers? And we're like, yes please, Sam Jackson. Did we even know that Sam Jackson was Nick Fury at that point?
I don't think so.
That's
like I said, we didn't know to fucking wait. We had no idea. We were all ignorant back then.
I knew. I don't know why you didn't know. Like, I knew that there was, hey, rumor is, wait until the credits are over and Samuel L. Jackson is going to be Nick Fury.
Oh, no fucking idea. I had no idea.
All right.
I was fucking blindsided by it.
Yeah, I remember there being a rumor that something happened. I didn't know that it was that, but it was just like you better stay because something huge happens.
Yeah.
No fucking idea.
I'll go.
All right.
Go for it.
All right. I'm going to go backwards. And number 6 is, I'm going to say, the reveal of Vulture as Liz's dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment.
Just Vulture in general, too.
Yeah. He was great. The 5 and 6 for me are things that just made me, mouth agape excited in the theater. And so number 5 is the Thor 2 post-credit scene when they show up at the collector's vault, drop off the ether, and say, we can't keep this in Asgard because you can't have 2 Infinity Stones that close to one another. And I remember being like, what the fuck did they just say?
Yep.
So good. Number 4, I'm surprised it hasn't come up yet.
Fucking, dude, you're right. It's so fucking commonplace now that we were having conversations before these movies come out. Like, oh yeah, what do you think I bet the whatever the fuck is going to be the time jam or whatever the fuck. Yeah. And like, it became so commonplace, but there was a time when hearing the word Infinity Stone sent a fucking chill down your spine because holy shit, they're doing that.
Yeah, that moment was unbelievable to me. I can picture the theater around me. Like, I will never forget that moment.
Also, shout out to Thor: The Dark World, which does not get enough love.
Underrated.
Not only does it not get enough love, but it gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Right,
Yeah, a lot of people hate that movie.
All right, number 4, I don't know why it hasn't come up yet, but the bridge scene in Ragnarok. When they all the Asgardians are making their break, and Valkyrie and Hulk and Thor show up and just start kicking ass with Loki and Heimdall. And
then Hulk fights a giant wolf.
Like, Valkyrie sets off all the fireworks and just struts her way into battle. Like, that's a great scene. Of course, the airport fight, Hulk saying that he's always angry and then punching the shit out of that space whale. That scene's amazing. And that would be my number 1, if not for when Thor drops down out of the sky in Wakanda and kicks the shit out of Thanos' army.
Just starts
that scene with the music. Like, that scene is my favorite scene through those sets of movies.
Just starts chucking Stormbreaker just everywhere.
Yeah. Great. I'd love it. I'd watch it right now. I would mute the bunch of you and watch it right now.
It's on Netflix. We were wanting to watch
You're
Doctor Strange
retarded.
this weekend, and it is no longer on Netflix, which is a bummer.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is on there now.
It is. And that's another goodie. All right, how about Facebook? Shark Matthew Hott chimes in. Number 6, the Cap Iron Man fight from Civil War, which I guess you got to throw in Winter Soldier to that too, because it wasn't just a one-on-one; it was a 3-way. Number 5, he goes with the Infinity War snap. Really good. Number 4, Iron Man and the cave fight. Just kind of set the stage for what kind of action you could do in this universe. And he fucks up Tom Morello in a Jerry Curl wig. Number 3, Bucky Cap fight from Civil War. When they're just angry. We watched that the other night, and that is real good. Real good movie. Have you guys heard? Oh no, the Bucky Cap fight from Civil War. I was thinking Winter Soldier. That one is also good.
They're both good.
Well, yeah, where Bucky takes the battering ram and just fucking baseball bats the dude with it. Number 2, First Avengers moving camera montage, which is what is it? They start with but it goes from Hawkeye to Hulk and Thor.
They start with Black Widow on the speeder, sky speeder thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then
Iron Man flies by them and lands and does the blast to Cap's shield.
Yes.
They go up and you see Hawkeye,
Yes.
shooting, and then you go over to Thor and Hulk on the Leviathan, and it ends with them crashing and then the Hulk punching Thor.
Thank you, JM.
You're welcome.
Great scene.
I didn't even think that shit was possible until I saw it with my own eyes. And then number 1, jumping Avengers moment from Age of Ultron. It was a splash page come to life in the opening scene when they're fucking up the Hydra base and they all just slow-mo jump into the air.
I like that, but some of the physical positions of the characters, are odd. It kind of takes me out of it.
Yeah, but that's also comic books, JM.
That is true.
I'll go.
All right.
Go for it.
Do it.
Number 6, Thanos wrecks the Hulk in the beginning of Infinity War.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Real good fight scene.
Oh,
Like,
straight
As
up.
far as Jax has ever made it in Infinity War.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And he thinks he's going to be handling Detective Pikachu when Kevin, the platypus Pikachu, beats the shit out of the cat.
My sister took our nephew, or my sister-in-law took our nephew to see Endgame tonight, and I saw that, and I was like, "What?" No, don't do that. Continue, Kelly.
Number 5, Mickey Rourke and his bird.
Yeah,
Fucking love Mickey Rourke and his bird.
Love that stuff. Like every time he wants his bird.
I want
just
my
makes me
bleed.
so happy. Number 4, the continuous fight shot in Avengers that JM just regaled us with.
yes.
Number 3, Groot's sacrifice in Guardians.
Oh,
Really love that scene.
very good.
Number 2, Spider-Man shows up in Civil War and his eyes are right. And number 1, we see a Celestial in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's right. We fucking do.
That's the craziest I feel like they've ever gone with the kind of cosmic stuff. And I always hope they're going to go a little bit further, but they don't.
When Rocket and Kraglin and them show up, and you see the shot of the planet, and he's got the ego face, and it's like, wow, they fucking did it. They went there. We did it, you guys.
And now they're doing a fucking Eternals movie, apparently.
Yeah,
Which
could be cool.
Mahoney is all about.
I'll watch an Eternals movie. That's gonna be great.
Oh, I'll watch it. I just don't give a shit at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised
Hercules?
if it's pretty much a Thanos origin story.
A
I don't
Thanos
care.
origin? Ooh.
He's
Well,
an
because
Eternal.
the Eternals are tied to the Deviants, and that's what Thanos is.
I'll take all the Thanos they're
I thought he
willing to
was
give
an
me.
Eternal.
And see, I feel like
Ugly ass Eternal. I don't think he's technically a deviant.
That'll be
No,
the
I thought
first.
I've been reading some of the Cosmic Marvel stuff like Annihilation, and in the guidebook section they refer to him as having the deviant syndrome
Well, all
or
right.
whatever.
I bow to your.
Because he's not an Eternal. He's from Titan. You know,
Yeah.
he's one of those guys.
He's a Tennessee Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
this
they
will be
did
the
a
first
draft.
time
this
I'm
weekend.
walking in like a I will know as much about the fucking Eternals movie as every other schmuck seeing Eternals that weekend, because I don't know shit about Eternals.
Same.
I feel like no one does. Good. What else you got? The number one? Did I miss the number one?
No, that was my number one.
Fucking A. Love it.
The Celestial.
Fucking great. Beautiful. Love that shit.
I'll go.
Go for it.
I got first up the Thanos reveal.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
First time he turned to the camera.
And that's one too. Again, we take Thanos for granted, but that was a moment. Remember?
Yeah, because once I saw that, I was like, Infinity Gauntlet is fucking coming, and I loved that. That was my jam.
And what a moment at the end of an incredible movie-going experience that we'd never experienced before at that point. And then, like,
especially,
also,
it gives you the feeling the good guys won. They fought the big thing. And then next thing you know, he turns and you're like, oh, it's getting even bigger.
And it did.
And that was another one of those big moments where, like, there was a clear divide in the room between the people that knew what the fuck that was and wondered why everyone else gave a shit. And the people who knew what it was and lost their fucking minds.
And then 6 years later, they paid it off. 6 years. And now everybody knows who Thanos is. Right. Every fucking buddy. Did you guys ever think we would live in a world where everyone would know who Thanos is?
No. God, no.
Never.
Like, I'm surprised that we live in a world where everybody knows who Wolverine is.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Continue, sir.
Every Daredevil fight scene, specifically the long ones, but I just think Daredevil, they got it right. They knew what they were doing.
Like he gets hit. Like he doesn't just win all the fights.
Yeah, and I love like the same thing with like Die Hard, where the hero just gets the shit beaten out of him the whole way. I got the Age of Ultron hammer scene, the after party where they're all just kind of letting their guard down and having fun with their superpower. You know what I mean? Like you got a god in the room. You're drinking with a god, and he's got this hammer that no one's allowed to pick up. Well, not allowed. You know what? Not anyone can just pick it up, and everyone's taking a crack at it. And some fun moments, and then you see Captain America budget, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
And it's like literally the only moment in these Avengers movies where they're like hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah.
Just to show you that, outside of the business, they could actually be friends and like get along. They're not just work buds.
And then a murder robot shows up.
Which is the
I love the bit where War Machine like tells this joke and nobody laughs. He tells it to the girls and then he gets a big laugh. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. That is a good story."
He was telling the girls about his eye doctor appointment. I love you, Juan.
I got Drax.
Just all of him?
Yeah, I didn't know much about. I didn't know shit about Guardians of the Galaxy, and I knew who Batista was, but I think just the mix of Batista, great casting, great characters, great jokes, and then just each Guardians, him getting more wacky.
Let's take that
like,
back
I'm
for a minute.
invisible.
And as crazy as it is that everyone knows who Thanos is, everyone knows who fucking Rocket Raccoon is.
There were baby Groot toys clogging the shelves.
So fucking weird.
What a world. Oh, speaking of what a world, did you guys see the news that dude from Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. He was also in Dark Knight. He was the Russian in Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's going to be Polka Dot Man in James Gunn's Suicide Squad sequel.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
We're going to have a fucking Polka Dot Man.
I'm in.
Yeah, right? Seriously.
Why not? I'm
Okay,
in.
please. Like, I hope...
I'll Polka Dot Man with you.
Yeah.
I gave a long, hard consideration to including the scene from Ant-Man and the Wasp when Luis is telling them all where everybody is and what's happening, and then Ghost pops up out of nowhere and scares them all, and that Russian dude is like, Baba Yaga!
Yeah. Fucking great.
This cracked me up when I saw it in the theater, but Thor 1, when he has his drink in the diner and then slams his cup on the ground.
Yep.
Another!
But that and the whole shift of Thor into a comedy that led up to Ragnarok. I liked that. Because again, like I thought Thor 2 was a lot funnier than I was expecting, and definitely takes a lot more shit than it should.
He didn't have much of a personality in the first Thor, besides just hot. And then...
Yeah.
Back abs.
Yeah, back abs. And then he did Saturday Night Live and got like a comedy bug up his butt.
He says, "No, come on, Thor's funny. Come on, let me be funny, guys."
Not just a pretty face.
That, and they got rid of that shitty wig.
The dyed eyebrows.
Ugh.
Oh, the dyed eyebrows were awful.
Dude, he looks like a fucking baby in Thor.
Yeah.
Well, that, and then the C2E2 angle. So I guess I got a soft spot for Thor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts that second C2E2 that they got Hemsworth right as Thor was coming out.
It wasn't even out yet. Like, his biggest credit up to that point was being Kirk's dad for 5 minutes.
Yeah. And Cabin in the Woods hadn't even been released.
Yeah. And would never have been released had Thor not been a hit. Now,
Right.
oh shit, that guy's pretty. Take it off the shelf. It's fucking nuts. Solid.
My number one, along with my number one movie, Winter Soldier, the fight where between plainclothes Captain America and Winter Soldier that led to the reveal he was Bucky to Captain America. That the music behind.
Oh, the music.
You keep hearing it's that Joker-esque hum, and it's just in the background the whole time. Just
I completely forgot about that score until we rewatched it the other day.
the whole fight scene leading up to that, him just beating the shit out of all of them. That whole fucking movie's great. And then just the Russos letting you know we're doing shit. This is our jam.
How nuts is it that the Russos have done almost everything Captain America related in this universe, besides the first Captain America and the first two Avengers? Like, they've been all about that character ever since.
Mm-hmm.
They show him some love.
Get it.
Remember in Winter Soldier when Cap is chasing Winter Soldier for that first time, and he chucks his
On the
shield
rooftop?
on the rooftop, and he chucks his shield at him, and Winter Soldier turns around and catches it.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And we've had like 19 moments similar to that since, and it's just like, man, just what an embarrassment of riches.
So fucking good.
You got
Love
any emails, Lee?
Yeah, I got a couple emails. If you guys have emails for whatever fucking reason, send them shits to popcast@PanelsOnPages.com, and I'll read them. So Juan writes in. Number 6, the epic one shot from the Avengers where everyone has their moment.
Yep.
There we go. Yep, that's solid.
Working as a team.
Number 5, the consultant one shot. A very short film tacked on as an extra to the Thor Blu-ray explains the Tonio cameo in the Hulk movie in a way that is not only funny, but clears up the confusion that was created by that scene.
And that's Jasper Sitwell, right?
I think so,
He's
yeah.
a main character in there.
And Coulson's in that as well.
Yeah.
What an interesting choice, Juan.
Yeah. Then number 4, he just puts all of Jessica Jones season 1. And you know what? I'll allow that.
Yeah. Purple Man.
Yeah, I'll allow that. Good. But it does go on to say, season 2, the less said, the better.
Remember back when, like, Jessica Jones wasn't even a glimmer in our eyes yet, and we were talking about Marvel Comics in one comic segment, and we were talking about Purple Man, and Jose just goes, "I'm Purple Man!"
And I'm like, yeah, no, Purple Man fucking rules. And he's like, whatever, fucker.
He does.
Didn't know what the fuck is up now. Number 3, the post-credits scene with Nick Fury and Iron Man.
Yes.
Obviously. Good one. Number 2. Interesting. This is one no one's talked about yet. From Thor. Hawkeye. Hawkeye's cameo in Thor. Back when this came out, the internet was a thing, but people were less assholes about it. For me personally, I had no idea the Hawkeye was going to show up in this movie. By this time, everyone already knew the Avengers was the thing that was going to happen, but the debut moment surprised and thrilled me to no end. Fucking Hawkeye getting his little bump.
Apparently, I cannot confirm this. Maybe JM can. They've never actually called him Hawkeye in the movies.
I don't think they have.
They the Doctor referred to him as the Hawk one time,
Hawk.
but they've never actually said Hawkeye.
That would.
Yep.
No way.
They mostly just call him Barton.
Right.
I have a comment that I will reserve for a later date.
Like,
You know what? Did they ever call fucking Tasha Black Widow?
No.
think maybe in Avengers when she's all chained to the chair.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that works.
Yeah, could be. All right. And then number 1, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, when S.H.I.E.L.D. is revealed to be heavily infiltrated by Hydra. At the time, no one knew this would happen. They had a weekly television show that was still in the first season and was highly affected by this. I missed when all the things were connected.
J-Pop in the chat says that Hawkeye's wife calls him Hawkeye at one point.
Okay.
Ah, all right.
Vetter writes in, looking for his top 6 MCU. He gives a shout out to the Stan Lee cameos. I like it. Number 6, the Mark I Iron Man. The first time Tony puts on the armor, set the tone for all the movies to come. Bursts out of the cave and unleashes Iron Man.
Yeah, maybe one of the best superhero origins we've ever seen on screen.
Yeah, it's perfect. That fucking Iron Man movie is perfect. Don't at me.
It feels old and dated because it is old, but yeah, great.
That's a flawless movie. There's nothing wrong with it.
except for War Machine doesn't look like Don Cheadle.
Yeah, that's the problem. Number 5. This is a good one. The God of Hammers in Ragnarok. The moment Thor realized he doesn't need a hammer to summon thunder. Are you the God of Thunder or the God of Hammers? I don't know why, but I loved it. Solid. Number 4. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. Translation: when Groot spears a group of enemies with his arm flails into the walls, then turns around and smiles. That won me over.
That's a great one.
Number 3. Underoos in Civil War. Awesome.
I miss Absolute Unit Groot.
Yeah, no, I do too.
I feel like we'll probably get him back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Get there.
Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, you never know, right? Number 2, the end credits, all of them. I picked one. He picked Nick Fury. Number 1, when Hulk smashes Loki in the Avengers, one of the funniest and most surprising moments ever.
And then great callback in Ragnarok.
Yeah, that callback in Ragnarok might even be better than that.
Because Loki's scared as fuck, and then Hulk does the same thing to Thor, and Loki's like, "Yeah, that's how it feels, bitch."
Fuck you. Fuck you, brother guy. I got one more email. We got anything else?
We got one more on Twitter. We got J-Pop, who's in the chat right now. We got his top 6. So let's go with number 6, Thor being resurrected by Mjolnir in the first Thor, which, you know, he eventually became worthy, so that resurrected him, and he became Thor for pretty much the first time in that movie. Number 5, Captain America storming Batrocc's boat and fighting George St. Pierre. That was a really good fight at the time.
It really is.
Number 4, Captain America, Bucky fight Iron Man in Civil War. Number 3, Daredevil fights the Russian kidnappers in the hallway.
Fuck yeah.
Number 2, Thanos snaps his fingers. And number 1, Thor regaining his power against Hela and fighting while Immigrant Song plays. Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Hela. Looking good.
Yeah, looking
hella
like a
good in that movie.
straight up Goddess of Death snack.
How did we make it this far into lists before anybody said when Thanos snaps his fingers?
No, someone else mentioned the
Yeah,
snap.
somebody mentioned that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But only one.
Because it's not the best. It's the saddest fucking thing in the world. It's not the best thing at all. Love it.
All right, you got another email?
Got another email. Yep. So this is from Cat and Zero.
Oh, nice.
So Cat's top 6. Number 6 is Are You Two Fondue from Captain America. Number 5, the post-credit scene in the Age of Ultron where Thanos greets him for the gauntlet. Fine, I'll do it myself. Yeah, that was a good one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Number 4, the dance-off in Guardians. This is a really good one. Number 3, Dormammu of Come to Bargain.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I had it as an honorable mention because what a amazing sequence with crazy special effects, funny, weird, all that.
And like he fights the big bad guy without ever throwing a punch.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking great.
And the first time you see one of the main characters die over and over
and over. And like even the crazy CG by Dormammu, the moment where he's like, wait, what the fuck? It's like, what? Like, wait, what's happening? Like, that's fucking great. Number 2, in Age of Ultron, when Scarlet Witch rips Ultron's heart out, telling him it felt like that.
Aww.
That's good. And then when Cap and Iron Man are fighting in the end of Civil War. See, I don't like that one. That one makes me sad. That's not a top moment at all. That's a sad one.
Well, you can have a top moment sadly.
I like my fantasies to be an escapist and make me feel good.
That's why everybody gets to have their own list, Lee Rodriguez.
Bring me down.
Did you do your list yet, Lee?
Brings me down to bring me back up again. So that makes it okay.
That's all right.
It'll be fine. And then Zero's top 6. Zero's top 6, everyone in the world saying Hail Hydra and or Wakanda Forever after seeing those movies.
Man, I remember Patton Oswalt tweeted Hail Hydra before Winter Soldier was like widely released. He just tweeted it just as a non sequitur, and I didn't realize it was a spoiler until I saw the movie.
Well, that doesn't count as a spoiler.
Shut your mouth, Patton Oswalt. How about that?
Number 5, the Civil War airport scene, best big fight scene in the MCU. Number 4, Thanos versus Hulk in Infinity War. Number 3, Ultron, all of him. The best lines of all the villains. And you know what? I actually almost put just Spader as Ultron in my fucking list. He's so good.
I'm the fucking Lizard King.
He's the best. I fucking love Ultron. Number 2, Thanos first appearance to court death itself. Wonderful. And number 1, the Nick Fury bit in Iron Man. So love it. Outstanding. Great list, everybody.
Well, I haven't done mine yet.
I know.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounded like you were wrapping up.
No, I was giving a big appreciation to all the people submitting their list to us.
Oh,
So
okay.
I love a good audience participation bit.
Absolutely.
Love it. So what you got, Nide? Hit us.
All right. Number 6, the Thanos post credits in Avengers, because like who knew that was coming? Not anyone. And
no one on the face of the fucking planet.
Whoever thought that would be a thing that we would actually see in a movie, and then 6 years later be one of the biggest movies that we've ever seen, and then a year after that be the absolute biggest movie that has ever happened in the world, and
that shit changed the world.
Changed the game
in some small way.
Number 5, Yondu's funeral in Guardians 2. You want to talk about a scene that makes you sad?
It makes me cry every single time.
The balls that James Gunn had to have his final shot in a wide release movie be an anthropomorphic raccoon crying. The fucking grapes on that guy. Number 4, Nick Fury talking about the Avengers Initiative. Another one where it's like we never even thought that this was a possibility. We had gotten into a rut of this is what superhero movies are. we have to accept them. Some of them aren't great. We just got to deal with it. You know, they're not connected or anything. We're never going to see Spider-Man and Iron Man on screen together, so don't even worry about that. And then,
speaking of fucking superhero movie ruts, every time I see the trailer for that goddamn Dark Phoenix movie, I want to bash my fucking face in.
dude, they showed 2 trailers for it before Endgame.
What? How does that happen?
One was basically like a recap of all the X-Men movies.
You saw it in IMAX, right?
Yes.
Yeah. One was an IMAX one.
Yeah.
It was the IMAX one, and then when the IMAX one finished and the regular one started, I said, "Oh, all right."
Yeah.
And they made you watch it twice.
Speaking of trailers, there were so many trailers before this movie that, like 3 or 4 in, whenever that green screen with the this has been approved by the MPAA, people started to groan and boo at the screen. Like, just give us the fucking movie already. And then they showed the Star Wars trailer, and everybody was fine with that. All right, number 3, I'm gonna say from the moment they get to the airport in Berlin in Civil War to the moment that it's done, that whole sequence. You know, introducing Spider-Man. They've got Black Panther is like brand new in this movie.
Yep.
You got Vision. You got everybody, and you see Giant Man for the first time. The Spider-Man Captain America interactions. Another thing that we never thought that we would see on screen.
Yeah.
Number 2, we've talked about it before. The team tracking shot from Avengers. It didn't get any better than that at that point. And then my number 1 is the snapping from Infinity War. He fucking snaps. He goes to the Soul Stone or whatever, talks to Gamora, comes back. We see everybody dust. Oh, well, first Thanos pieces out through a portal. We see everybody start to dust. And then we go to Thanos in the garden, and he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He's going to fucking sit down and watch the sunset and smile after a good deed done. Credits and just hushed silence.
Mm-hmm. Nobody talking.
And then or in my case, an actual audible wail from a woman in the back of the theater.
You want to talk grapes? Like, that was some fucking cantaloupes.
Because you're like, okay, cool. So like, they're gonna get him. I know we're running out of time, but they're gonna get him, right? Oh, they're not gonna get him.
And then, like, even adding to that moment was the fact that they didn't give us fucking anything for months. Like, we didn't get a trailer until November. Like, they didn't even give us the title of the movie.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a journey. Very well done. But yeah, grapes for days. The best people, the best quote. Fucking my daughter looks up at me, and this is the second time I'd seen it, so I knew it was coming. And she just goes, "What kind of butts make a movie like that, where that's the end?" And I'm like, sorry. Yeah, I should have warned you. And then when we go to see fucking Ant-Man and the Wasp, before it starts, she's like, "Hey, you gonna pull the shit on me? Is this gonna be another fucking sad ending?" I'm like, "Don't worry, it's fine. It's cool. Fine. Like, don't fuck me on this, Dad." I'm like, "It's fine." Solid list, everybody.
Well, she told you not to fuck her on this, Dad, and then they end up dusting at the end of that one.
Yeah, but that one was not. It was not nearly the impact.
Sure.
Like, she was like, but she did tell me, she goes, "Dad." I'm like, "Come on, that wasn't that bad. There had to be something in the back of your mind that thought that might be a possibility." She was like, "Oh, okay, all right." Yeah, fucking great, love it. All right, so you gonna peace out, Jose?
Peace to the grease.
Did we get everybody?
Try not to wreck a bird.
Please don't.
I think so.
And I can't wait to hear your takes on Endgame next week, man. I'm disappointed we won't be able to see it together, but I look forward to the discussion because, man, I will fucking talk about Endgame for weeks if you guys let me.
I'm into it.
I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the only time
Yeah.
seeing it.
Yeah. Cool, man.
All right.
Well, you guys want to take a quick break? I do have a quick little podcast classic if we need to take a piss before we
do
get
that.
to.
Let's take a little break. Get yourself a drink, get yourself whatever you got to do, and we'll come back and do this for a while. Good idea.
All right.
Break! Dexter.
Oh, yes, Dexter.
Dexter.
This many days until
Right,
Dexter.
Dexter.
Soderquist and Ramos. Fucking Soderquist and Ramos.
Dexter.
Morgan. Dexter.
Dexter Morgan.
Angel's Crazy Good Burrito.
Dexter
Don't text.
Dexter.
All right, moving on, man. What do you got? Anything else you want to share before we move on? Anybody got anything?
Dexter.
All right.
Oh man, we did it, you guys. Jose, are you gone? He is gone. We made it through the entire first half of the show, and we didn't spoil anything for Jose. I am
Not
super
a goddamn
proud.
thing.
The closest we got when we were talking about Hawkeye.
Which I don't even think necessarily would have mattered.
No.
Like, all I was going to say is if nobody has ever called him Hawkeye, then the first use of Hawkeye was him calling his daughter Hawkeye.
Yes, absolutely.
And Jose would have been like, I don't care about that.
Right.
That doesn't count.
And that's literally the first 20 seconds of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now the fucking gloves are off, kids. If you have not seen it, stop and come back. Because we're done fucking around. This is red zone territory now.
If you haven't seen it, sorry, I just told you that thing about Hawkeye. My bad.
Just lost some listeners. God damn it. Never again. Lost someone already. So, yeah, Nice had the bright idea to have us kind of collect our thoughts a little bit as opposed to being, say, free-range circle jerk, which I think is probably a very good move.
To try and organize things a little bit. I figure right off the bat, we'd go around the horn and just get a general overall review from everybody. Nothing specific about plot, but what you thought. What are your thoughts on Endgame? This
I honestly, kind of thought it was perfect. It was long, but I can't really think of a single moment that could be cut out of it. And my whole thing is, how long was it originally? 'Cause this is what's left. How much shit got cut out just so they could get it down to a somewhat manageable 3 hours plus? I want to see that one too. I want to see that movie.
I was reading an article about it was the screenwriters talking about if
Marcus and McFeely.
Yeah, if they were given any sort of restraints as far as time goes, and everybody basically said the same thing. It was like, this is the end. This is what we've all been leading up to. Let's not cut ourselves off at the fucking knees. Let's tell the story we want to tell.
I like it.
And I like how it was kind of 3 movies in one, and each movie was its own act. You've got,
and they were all awesome.
The first act where they're all super fucking sad, and then they realize they can fix this, and then the middle act is them trying to fix it, and then the last act is that huge, just almost obnoxious battle sequence.
There was nothing obnoxious about it.
But obnoxious in a good way. I kept thinking about, because I still haven't seen Aquaman, but there's that huge CGI battle at the end of Aquaman. But Aquaman didn't fucking earn that.
No.
The MCU earns this big CGI battle at the end.
Mm-hmm. The CGI battle, the Aquaman did not earn its fight with the crab people.
The battle of the 19 armies.
The fuck out of my face.
No joke, I cried pretty much through the entire movie.
Yeah.
Different levels of tears, different amounts. By the end of it, my sweat towel was damp with tears. And it was just, some of it was because it was sad. Some of it was because it was just, I was so happy that after these 11 years, this is where we were at. Mm-hmm. It was very emotional.
See, I walked into it telling Nicole, this is going to be, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to cry, it's going to be great, I'm going to be very emotional. And she rolled her fucking eyes at me so hard, like she tends to do. But,
Nicole, you bitch!
She cried so fucking much during this movie.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm like, see?
Also, I take back calling her a bitch. I love her.
She's like, you're gonna fucking kill me. I go, yeah, I told you. Take it back.
Mahoney, you agree with the crying through the whole thing, essentially?
Oh my god, yeah. There were points where I was like, I'm a grown man in my 30s, and I'm basically just weeping at this movie.
I didn't give a fuck. I just wanted to dry my eyes. I didn't want to just be completely just dripping the whole time, and like it. I wasn't embarrassed about it at all through the entire movie, except for one time. I think it was during the battle scene. The guy next to me finally looks over at me as I'm wiping my eyes. I'm like, give me a fucking break, guy!
That's when you tell him to kiss your entire asshole
God.
and mind his own business.
Get it together, you big fat fucking pussy.
He seemed to say.
JM.
I mean, obviously, I loved it. It didn't feel like 3 hours to me.
No.
None of the times I've seen it, it felt and each subsequent time I've seen it, it goes even faster because I know the pacing and I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it flew by, and I am very, very, very happy that they didn't cut down anything. And it kind of baffles me that people were like, oh my god, a 3-hour movie, how are we going to ever handle this? Like, fuck off. Like, most of these movies, half of them are 2 hours 20, 2:30, 2 hours and 40 minutes, and actually you can't sit an extra 20 damn minutes. Like, come on.
Well, when will I pee?
I didn't eat or drink anything for quite some time before the movie because I didn't even want the hint of a problem. The first time I saw it, now I've got specific places that I take my bathroom breaks if necessary.
Mary read the article before seeing it that was, if you need to pee during Endgame, this is where you need to pee. And it was whenever they were doing the title cards of the locations. And then it was like, once you pass this certain location, I think it was what's the Soulstone planet?
Vormir.
Vormir, yeah.
It's like, if you haven't peed once you see Vormir, you better pee or you're not going to get another chance.
You pissed your pants like a grown-up. Handle your fucking business.
Yeah, there's just so much. The other thing that really, for me, that I love about this is how much it builds on moments, weaves in all these little moments from previous movies, stuff that I don't want to say is throwaway, but like means more because we've seen other movies. Yeah. I'll talk specifics later, but like
they pay homage to literally everything.
Yeah,
that's kind of outstanding.
If you've invested your time in this movie series for the past 11 years, they pay off. They treat you to what you've been waiting for.
But on a scale unprecedented.
And might not ever happen again until, another 11 years from now and we get the next big Marvel conclusion. And like I was talking with JM on Twitter, it was like, you absolutely have to scale back big time when it comes to the MCU at this point. You almost have to go Daredevil ground level at this point because of how big Endgame was. You can't keep up with that. You can't make an Endgame 3 times a year.
Well, no, and it loses how special it is if you just keep churning out these huge, for years I've wanted this, and every time they've gotten a little bit more and a little bit more, it's like, well, we want more and more and more. But now that we're at the end and you see what that build up and what that waiting led to, I want to wait again because it means more when you wait.
I feel like they've been good about that though, because remember we had Endgame, or Infinity War rather, and the next movie was Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is a very small scale by comparison movie.
Sure.
That is still great, and then like the Spider-Man movie's in there somewhere. That's a very low stakes, turn the neighborhood movie.
Yeah. So
like, there's no take over the world plot in Homecoming. It's just like Spider-Man doesn't want this guy stealing his boss's shit. Like,
Right.
like that's fucking Homecoming.
I mean, Far From Home seems to have a slightly bigger scale than Homecoming did, but I think that if they keep the next, like, the first chunk of movies in the next phase a little bit more, like, insular, a little bit more lower level threat, you know, within reason, I just want still to see the crossover of characters here and there.
Yeah,
you know, you
for sure.
have somebody pop up in somebody else's movie, because especially now that so many of them known each other, and we had that 5-year jump where certain characters spent, like, Rocket now fully knows, like, Earthlings. Like, he's friends with Rhodey, so, like, I'd like to see Rhodey show up, you know, with the Guardians maybe for part of the movie or something, or he calls Rhodey or whatever.
He probably met an actual raccoon. All right, Kelly, give it to us.
I liked it.
Yep.
I don't know. I thought it was about middle of the road for the Marvel movies.
That's so fucking crazy.
But that speaks to Kelly's history with the MCU, and I ain't mad about it, and I appreciate the differing opinions.
Like, I saw you post earlier about Captain Marvel being your second least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably rank Captain Marvel higher than Endgame.
Wow. Okay,
I had
get
a lot
out.
more fun with it.
Everybody is entitled to their opinion.
Absolutely.
And there you go. Like, okay. Like,
I don't know. Endgame was a movie I saw, and I'm like, I don't know if I ever need to see it again.
I don't understand either of your opinions. I don't understand how you can have Captain Marvel as in your bottom two, and I definitely don't understand how you can have Endgame below Captain Marvel. So you're both on on different sides of an insane scale right now. I don't get
I agree
feel
with
like
Mahoney.
Endgame didn't go far enough for me.
What?
What the fuck are you talking about? Drop Kelly from the call.
I would
You
understand
had the chance to just do insane cosmic Marvel shit, and you're just like, let's just do exactly what everyone expected us to do.
Well, so
it was very paint by numbers to me.
Fucking what?
Paint by numbers?
Like, isn't this the movie exactly what you thought it would be going in?
No!
It was everything I thought it was going to be.
I had no fucking idea what it was gonna be. The thing that I thought maybe it was gonna be, it wasn't that when they fucking beheaded Thanos 7 minutes into the fucking movie.
You knew there was going to be time travel shit because of the time gem, though, and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah, I knew time travel was going to be involved.
I mean,
But,
that
like,
was
not to the scale.
No, but I mean, people assumed time travel would be part of it, but not in the way that they used it.
Right.
You know, not like most people, myself included, were assuming they would go back before the snap and just stop it from happening.
No. Instead, they had a time heist.
Yeah.
A time heist.
I definitely was never like, I bet 2014 Thanos is just going to bring his whole fucking army through a portal.
How did they do that?
Nebula did it. Nebula went over to the time machine and brought them all through.
But no, they only got the one ship through. That's why I was like, why did the other ships come through?
It was his like mega ship.
It was
down everybody else. Like,
okay, I see.
Like that, because remember, like we saw at the end of Ragnarok, that Thanos' ship is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, because the ship that the Asgardians that had all the Asgardians on it was like a tiny little speck compared to Thanos'
That ship was fucking bullshit.
Okay, I never got a good sense of the scale of it because I wasn't sure how big the Asgardian one was.
Thanos' ship is just filled with space apes.
That was nuts.
What's your high level take, Mahoney?
I ain't mad at you, Kelly, for the record.
I'm mad at you.
I don't know. It was fine. Like,
I'm glad he's lukewarm on it instead of being like, no, that was trash.
I thought Infinity War was way better.
Oh man, Infinity War is really good.
To me, the final battle of Infinity War fucking smokes the battle in Endgame.
Yeah,
the battle in Endgame is real messy, and there is a lot.
It's
going
real messy,
on,
and there's a lot of shit that's real hard to see.
and it's dark. It's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like with Infinity War, it's bright. You can see everything. There's a bunch of really cool moments. Like the Endgame one, like it had some cool moments, but a lot of it just felt super forced.
It did. We got your take, right, Mahoney?
I loved it.
Yes.
I absolutely loved it. I think it was amazing.
You've seen it 3 times since?
What did you say?
You've seen it 3 times now?
3 times now.
Yeah. He saw it at 6, and then what did you see it? 10 o'clock?
10:30. Yep. Yeah. I went at 6 o'clock. That movie ended. I drove to a different theater with a bigger IMAX, and I saw it again.
I was super jealous when Mahoney was seeing it the second time, and I stayed up and waited for him and made a private little chat with just me and him so we could just talk about it.
Yeah, until like 3:30 in the morning, and then I was like, I have to work in like 4 hours. I gotta go to sleep.
All right, so let's talk favorite moments.
Oh.
I got a couple.
Anything going with Cap?
Yeah, Cap, man. What a perfect ending for that character.
I honestly, I know it's not necessarily a favorite moment or whatever, but I liked,
or just favorite things overall.
I like not knowing fucking anything about the movie.
Yeah,
because like they didn't show much in any of the trailers, but what they did show was like way early on. And they gave so little context that like you really didn't know like what the fuck to expect in it. And I thought it was kind of great because they didn't. I don't think it was paint by numbers at all. That like it was very like I never knew what the fuck was going to happen next.
Fucking yeah, paint by numbers. Fat Thor. You expected Fat Thor?
Well, I mean, the whole movie series is slowly turning into how do people deal with PTSD. So, yeah.
Thor is the most different character from when he was first introduced.
Absolutely.
And I am all about it.
He was a real piece of shit in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't care about Thor in the comics at all. Like at all. I don't give a shit. I love him in the movies. Like he has in the last 3 movies, he has lost actually starting in the Dark World, he loses his mother. And then after that, his relationship falls apart. He loses his father, his friends, a bunch of his people, his brother. Like every time they take more and more away from him, it's just that much richer. It's great.
When they reveal Fat Thor for the first time, you hear this audible gasp in the audience, and it's the sound of 1 million lady boners going to die. And then you're kind of waiting for that moment where they finally like get through to Thor, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna do some sit-ups." Nope.
I was half expecting him to like use his like lightning when he gets in his costume to like thin himself up.
Oh, absolutely.
I was waiting
I
for
expected that.
No, all it did was braid his beard.
Yeah, but instead you get fucking start calling him Lebowski.
Oh, he was straight up Lebowski. And then we were watching Iron Man 1 the other night, and fuck,
Lebowski's in it.
He's fucking in it, and that's it. All comes full circle.
Jeff Bridges does not get enough credit for his performance in that movie. Like I really like Obadiah Stane in that movie.
Hold still, you little shit, so I can kill you.
But am I the only one that didn't like Fat Thor?
Probably.
All right. It seemed too jokey to me. I feel like they really did handle Tony's PTSD super well, but this was just played for laughs.
It was very jokey and very fat shamey.
I didn't like that.
But you got to also think like there was no other comedy relief in that first third of the movie, and that gave us the levity, even though he has PTSD and he's had a psychotic break essentially.
Yeah, no, it's like
he's lost everything, and he like obviously blames himself. That's why like I think his story in here is one of the greatest, because just that the delivery of "I went for the head," because like every showing I've been to, it's gotten a laugh because of like what Thanos said in the last one. But the way he says it is not meant to be funny. Like he's broken.
No, not at all.
It almost as if he expected to swing Stormbreaker, cut off Thanos' head, and for him to feel better, and it didn't. And he's just like,
absolutely.
and then he has a nervous breakdown, and it's played jokey at times, but like, I mean, speaking as somebody who is, studied psychology, like sometimes the only thing that you can, I know Thor isn't laughing about it, but like with mental illness, like sometimes comedy comes out of that. And like when you're struggling with something, sometimes your friends are going to give you shit for it. Like when Rhodey's like, like what's in my veins, like Cheese Whiz, like that's kind of crap that like people would like say in those situations. Like, is it a little insensitive? Sure.
Especially my shithead friends, of course.
Yeah, like that's what people do. And Thor, like the moment that he cuts off Thanos' head, and then later when he summons Mjolnir, and he's so happy that he's still worthy, like that says a lot about where he is in his headspace. And like
Jack's Mjolnir from the past.
And then he, like, I think that when I first saw it, I was a little like, oh, this is like, it's going to take a minute to get used to with the Fat Thor. But in the end, it's like it's a physical representation of his mental state.
Yeah. But I get, if you're a fan of Thor, like, this might ruin the movie for you.
I'm going to be very curious, because one of my closest friends, Thor is his absolute favorite comic book character, and he hated Thor Ragnarok because of what they did with Thor.
Oh, no.
And
he's going to hate this.
Yeah. He hasn't seen Infinity last I talked to him, and I messaged him like, you're probably not going to like what they do with Thor in Endgame. Like, I'm very curious to see what his thoughts are, but I don't think he's going to like it.
So what else? I like the bit where when they're on Morag, it's and I think it's Nebula and War Machine, and they see Quill dancing, but they cut to him without like the music beds. And just,
good.
So fucking funny.
One last thing about Fat Thor before we leave him. In the beginning, when they're all sitting around the headquarters and they're talking about Thanos used the stones and they're going to go off into space and find him, Thor is off by himself at the table with a beer and a giant bowl full of bread. And it's like the start of him being like, I need to fucking eat. I need a beer. Like, I have to drown these feelings.
Oh, and one other the thing, it's jumping to the end, but when he ends up with the Guardians and just the argument between who's in charge, and just the way it ends and the look on Thor's face,
so good.
Is
fucking got his mojo back.
Better do some fucking sit-ups.
What else I got? I got just I kind of just little quick notes how the last fight. I feel like when I was watching this movie, if I wasn't crying, I was sweating profusely. Like I was just sweating through that entire fucking last fight. It was like Jesus Christ, it was just exhausting. I thought that it was big spectacle, but big character moments on top of it. I thought everything about this fucking movie was earned, and it's funny you say that about Aquaman not earning it, because that's the note I made about this movie, is that every moment was earned. And I kind of love that.
How about Tony Stark looking sick as fuck when they bring him back to Earth?
They did a really good job.
We saw it with Spazzy and Chad said that he thought Robert Downey Jr. was back on the drugs. He looked that bad.
And they're like, oh, no, he's just been in space for 3 weeks. Okay, we're cool.
It was scary.
Yeah. I also kind of
Speaking of that, I loved him and Nebula playing football.
Yeah.
Or paper football.
Nebula might have, like, on the down low, it might be Nebula's movie. Like, she might be one of the best characters in all of Endgame.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Yeah, I like I like that they did not in this movie show the bit from the Captain Marvel post credits.
Oh, you're saying you like that?
You like that? 'Cause
Yeah.
somebody who hates it.
I fucking hated that.
Why?
Because
we've already seen it. We've
Yeah,
already
but-
seen that part.
I don't. Yeah, why would we need to see that?
Because
when they
okay,
did the post credits and then they just end up being kind of part of the next movie. It's like, I mean, that's kind of cool, but whatever. I literally saw that part already.
That always bugs me. Like,
Yeah, but-
whenever they do that, I hate it.
but in the context of this movie, you don't get an introduction to Captain Marvel at all.
You got a whole movie before it.
Yeah, but
And it came out like 4 minutes ago.
in the context of this movie, like I had to go back and rewatch the post-credit scene from Captain Marvel because I thought they might have just written it off altogether. Like it was just something they shot and tacked onto the end of Captain Marvel. But Cap still has his beard in that post-credit scene, so it took me going back and rewatching that after the movie to realize Captain Marvel shows up because the beeper was beeping, and they have a discussion, and then she flies off back into space to get Tony and Nebula, and then comes back. And
you
then,
know all of this without having to be shown it.
but also
Yeah.
that scene was a minute fucking long. Put it in the movie, just so that you have context to this character. It bugged the shit out of me.
I don't know. I completely I mean, these other movies exist for a reason. This is a celebration of 21 movies. I don't think you need to like play something from one that just came out.
Like as I turned left to walk into the theater to see the Endgame, the theater immediately in front of me was still playing Captain Marvel.
In the context of the movie, and I have seen Captain Marvel, I thought that this was Captain Marvel's first time arriving on Earth. And I expected the scene with the beeper. I expected her to be like, "Where's Fury?" But then we didn't get any of that. So I was a little confused with Captain Marvel.
All right, fair enough.
Captain Marvel, we'll get to it, but Captain Marvel is most of my problems with this movie. I'm not a piss baby. I am not a piss baby.
Weird choices with her.
Yeah, I'm not a piss baby. You know what I did love? America's ass.
Yep.
That was good.
Ant-Man
That is America's ass.
Ant-Man is just a fanboy for Captain America.
It's great. Imagine if he and Coulson had met.
Just
like,
growing out.
Yeah, but the America's ass thing also for me shows is another example of how much Captain America has grown, and changed. Because his comments on it and him, you gotta be shitting me when he sees himself. I love those little things because that was not what Captain America was in the first Avenger.
He should have just been like, "Oh, fuck me." Oh yeah.
And the Bucky is alive. I've seen people say it, and I agree. It is Martha done right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Martha done right. I love it.
I love that he. One, I love when the 2012 Cap is like, I could do this all day, and Cap's like, yeah, I know.
I know.
I love that he's willing to. He knows his own weaknesses. He knows what he how he can be, and it's just perfect.
All of the time travel stuff that shows the other angle of those other movies, the Avengers and Guardians and all that.
Oh, just when he fucking leans into what's his nuts in the elevator, Hell Hydra.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
That's fun.
He gets on the elevator with all those Hydra guys, and I expected him to do the line, "Anybody want to get off?"
Yeah.
But Hail Hydra was so much better.
Oh, it's perfect.
Fantastic.
And when he grabs Mjolnir and Thor loses it, I knew it.
That begins my favorite from the moment that Mjolnir is lifted to the moment that Giant Man punches the Leviathan, the giant space whale.
That's such a good punch.
That chunk of movie is, I will watch that on loop forever.
Yep.
So good. Yeah, all the Cap stuff is really, really great.
In a way where almost you could almost pass it off as Thor was summoning it to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then nope, it hits Thanos and then back into the hand of Cap. freaking.
I was reading an article about, or maybe watching a video about, comparing the scene from Age of Ultron where they're all picking up Mjolnir. I love that Jose listed that as one of his top 6. He's gonna fucking love that scene. And it was like, so did he just become more worthy or what? And the explanation that I like the most is he didn't need to pick up Mjolnir right then in Age of Ultron when they're all hanging out. There was no reason. Like, he's probably worthy.
Well, wasn't he moved it, but then before he got the chance, didn't something like interrupt him?
No, he moved it a little bit and then it didn't pull, and then Thor kind of looks nervous and then smiles because he didn't move it.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know why. I thought there was like he moved it a little bit and then something happened and
he's kind of like, I gave it the old college try, but no one else but Thor noticed that he moved it a little bit. And then you get to Endgame and he needs to pick it up now, so that's when he picks it up. He didn't need it in some fucking party in Age of Ultron.
I always took it as he couldn't pick it up because they were in that moment he wasn't worthy. It's kind of similar to that because they were like showing off, trying to prove they were worthy, and when you try to prove you're worthy, you're not really worthy.
I mean, you can also look at it as between Age of Ultron and Endgame, he has definitely become more worthy.
Right. Yeah. Well, a lot of people I've seen say that it's because he's hiding the secret of Bucky killing Tony's parents.
Oh.
And that hadn't come to light yet. So that's why he's not worthy in that moment.
I like all of it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's a good one.
Any way you want to explain it, I'm all about it. So the portals open and everybody and their fucking mom piles out. Did you guys see that Howard the Duck is in that scene?
What?
Yeah, he's in it briefly in the background, but I saw it in a screen cap from some cammed footage. But yeah,
that's outstanding.
Howard the Duck.
It happens right after
Wasp shows up.
Wasp grows.
Yeah. So cool. Everybody piles out of these portals. You've got this huge army on one side. You've got this huge army on the other. And you know it's building. You know he's going to fucking say it. You fucking know it. And then he says it. The crowd erupts. I laugh at the joy of everyone erupting and then immediately ugly cry at how happy I am. Oh,
that's the part that I've watched that probably 50 times right at this point, and I still cry and like convulse every time because it was earned. And
because I remember the Doctor Strange says, "Did you get everyone?" It's like, who else did you want?
And then fucking Giant Man pops out with Hulk, Rocket, and War Machine right after that. Perfect. Yeah. I remember after the first Avengers movie came out, I remember being disappointed that he didn't say it.
Yep.
And then I remember being kind of irritated that Age of Ultron ends with him saying Avengers and then it cuts.
They teased it.
I am no longer mad. I am glad they waited. It was way worth it.
We thought we wanted him to say it in the first Avengers. We thought we wanted him to say it at the Age of Ultron. But this was the perfect fucking moment.
I think that what makes it even better for me is that it's Avengers, call Mjolnir to his hand, then assemble. Like it's like that. That makes it even better. And and the other thing, the way that it built up to that, what for me, that shot of him standing alone against Thanos' army. I want a poster of that. Like, I love that shot. And again, it informs you of who this character is. He's half his shield is gone. Like, all hope seems lost. He stands up, tightens the strap.
Hey, he can do this shit all day.
He can do it all day.
And then
the calm and on your left. I'm about to cry thinking about it now. It's so perfect. Like the callbacks and like fan service done right. Like this is you knew they were coming back. You left Infinity War knowing they were coming back, but they had them come back at the right moment. all hope seems lost, and they did it in a like, oh god damn, I love that part of that movie.
Was it you,
so
Mahoney,
much.
who said you completely forgot that they snapped everybody back?
No, that was
someone I was talking to said they completely forgot that that Hulk snapped everybody back, and then when everybody shows up, it's like, oh god, because you see the little birds in the tree, and then that's when Thanos shows up.
Mm-hmm.
It really bothered me that it took him that long to show up, though.
Well,
that long?
That was only a few minutes.
It was like 5 minutes since they'd been snapped back.
And I've seen complaints that they show up too quick because you got to organize.
It took too long for me because it's like, look, you got Mr. Magic Man, you should be able to gather everyone up and send you over before Cap, Thor, and Iron Man get their asses handed to them.
If Doctor Strange popped into your house right now, you wouldn't be ready to go in 5 minutes.
But they were all in Wakanda.
No,
they weren't.
He went to Asgard. He went and got wherever all the fucking magicians were. Like
he
sent Black Panther and all those guys, and just like, hey, help them while you can.
He went to space.
They got the Ravagers. They got fucking Wasp, who none of them should have known.
Who knows where Wasp was?
Yeah,
she's on some building somewhere.
Doctor Strange went and got Howard the Duck.
Cut the man some slack.
Was it really only 5 minutes? Because it felt like a good 20 to me.
I don't think it was 20.
It
wasn't very long.
I honestly don't know, but
damn it, Kelly, he's a doctor, not an Uber driver.
And remember, like, if it was 20 minutes in movie time, like, the scenes they show of, like, Hawkeye running through the thing underwater and, like, Rocket drowning and Captain America and like those are all happening simultaneously. They just can't show you them in split screen. Like, so it really wasn't that long.
Hawkeye and the Hawkeye stuff was really fucking great too. Man, we just run around fighting the little better parademons.
I mean, the whole Hawkeye Black Widow scene on Vormir, where
did not see that coming.
They're fighting each other.
Why did we see that coming? Well, how did nobody be like, gee, I wonder who's gonna die to get the Soul Stone? Like,
yeah.
Oh no! Like when they got there, it made sense. But like leading up to it, like we were talking about who's gonna die. I wasn't like, oh yeah, definitely Black Widow.
Yeah, imagine they sent War Machine and Rocket Raccoon to Vormir, and then Red Skull's like, you have to destroy something you love, and they look at each other like, I don't fucking know.
they get onto the mountain, and they're like, oh, I bet the raccoon didn't have to climb a mountain or whatever. And I was like, oh. One of them has to die now. Like, never in the mission was I like, oh, okay. I wonder who's going to have to sacrifice himself.
If they had sent Rocket and he just threw, like, a cybernetic eye that he had in his pocket over
and Red Skull just kind of shrugs and is like, yeah, no, that was it. That is the thing about the most.
Can I shout out one of my favorite characters in the movie, and that is Smart Hulk.
I was about to say it's a Smart Hulk because yes.
Oh, like at first it's really jarring when they're in the diner because you're not given any time to. They don't tell you ahead of time that he's fucking Smart Hulk now. You're just thrown into it, and he's taking selfies.
That diner scene is weird because you're still kind of wondering: is he just like dumb Hulk, but like better at speaking now?
Apparently not. He fucking created time travel.
Well, no, but like there's a bit there where it's like. I don't know about this guy.
Right. and
also get ready for that to be the most dated scene in the whole movie in a year when he's dabbing.
I feel like that's
dated.
The point.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the point. Like, this is what I think.
Banner's not cool.
This is what I think is great about that scene. He's smart because of Bruce Banner, but Hulk is essentially a 7-year-old child.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's equal parts brilliant and then also doing dabs and stupid shit like that because he's equal parts a brilliant genius and a 7-year-old child.
And he's a dork.
So well.
If anything dates the movie, it's Fortnite.
Yeah.
Because even after the snap, apparently they were able to keep the Fortnite servers open. I just like how, you were introduced to him, and within a couple minutes of him being in the scene and talking, like, didn't even notice that he was CGI anymore. Like, it was Mark Ruffalo on stilts and in makeup.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
So fucking solid. All right.
I have two more favorite bits.
Please.
One of them is Tony Stark's funeral. They're going through. They've got this shot.
They bring in
everybody. So they're going through this whole crowd, showing everybody, like, really just fucking grinding your balls. Like, this is sad. Be sad right now. And just when you thought you had no more tears to cry, they go over to Happy Hogan and Morgan, and Happy's like, what do you want for dinner? And she says, cheeseburgers. And he's like, all right, we'll have cheeseburgers. That's what your dad liked. And it's just like, I didn't realize I had more tears in my body.
I'll get you all the cheeseburgers you want.
And then the other thing I really like, and it's perfect for the end of this volume, if you want to call it that, is it's a clean break. It didn't need post-credit sequences. You don't need to set up the next few movies.
Yeah, Nicole was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, you know what? No, what the fuck? It doesn't need anything else.
They earned it. They earned not having to set anything else up.
But just the clangs.
I completely
homage, perfect. There you go.
Completely missed that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Once I saw the Marvel logo pop up, we got up out of our seats. I missed the clangs altogether.
The clangs. What's the point of the clangs? Were the clangs okay? I got.
Okay.
Am I supposed to wait for questions, or can I get to questions?
No. Since we're talking about it, bring it up.
All right. So the clangs. Is this an homage to him in the cave?
Yes.
Is it supposed to be someone else building a new armor? And if
no,
so,
it's a direct reference to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the cave.
I think 100% an homage since it started with Iron Man.
Yeah.
And now,
it's the same audio file from what I read.
Ooh.
It's like the same audio from him in the cave.
I have not found anyone who agrees with me. But Doctor Strange, they're having their battle. Thanos is fighting Captain Marvel. He pulls off the Power Stone, punches her into space.
Awesome.
Right? Tony and Strange lock eyes. Doctor Strange puts up the one finger. What does the one finger mean?
This is the reality where we win, and because he knows Tony has the idea of what he needs to do, and he's giving Tony the confirmation that yes, that's what. Yeah,
he's like, look, you gotta die.
I guess I took it to mean like wait,
like hold,
wait, go. You know, like this is the thing. Not yet. Let him put the other one back on his hand. Now get him.
Now, because Stark asks him, "Is this the one?" And he's like, "I can't fucking tell you that." So then it gets down to the nitty gritty, and he looks over at Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is like, "What? maybe you should go get them stones, homie."
All right.
Yeah. So I got a very small list of
problems,
things that kind of bug me.
Okay.
Like, I need a timeline for the Tesseract. Like, I don't even think how do they know to go to the secret Hydra base in like the swinging 70s and find the Tesseract? Because they had it in World War II. They ended up in space.
Tony's dad, it's in his notes in Iron Man 2. There's sketches of it.
Oh.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, and Howard found it at the end of First Avenger.
Yeah.
Did he find it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I take it all back. I just forgot that then. Okay,
people have been complaining about the Tesseract for a long time, but I feel like the timeline is very clear. The
only thing that fucked me up was this thing. I don't understand how it got to that base.
Why specifically the 70s?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, it's that base.
That's why
Pym was there.
Yeah, that's
yes, because the Pym particles. It's that base because that's the base that Cap trained at, and that's also the base that they went to in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I got all that. I just couldn't figure out why it was.
It was
there.
a very convenient base.
But the best part is they had set that up already. Like we knew Pym worked with SHIELD. Like that's the kind of little stuff that like I love so much in this movie. Like, we know who this character is. You don't have to explain it if you've seen you've seen all these movies.
And we've been to Fort MacGuffin before, so okay.
It's little moments like that. Real quick, one moment that I didn't mention that I want to mention real quick, and one of my favorites was when Spider-Man kill on this in the final battle.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that scene so much.
Why do you hate that scene?
Because Spider-Man should never activate instant kill. Mister, no one dies. No, that's so against Spider-Man. I hate that.
But like, they're not even real things. Like, they're not even real people.
Not even real.
Doesn't matter.
I loved it. I loved it because
Spider-Man wouldn't do that.
When they're like, you want to turn on instant kill, and he's all like, why the fuck would I ever want an instant kill mode? And then he's like, now I want it.
No, turns out it was this the whole time.
Totally goes against Spider-Man's character. I hated that scene, that moment so much. That was, honestly, if that hadn't happened, I probably would have a much better reaction towards this movie.
But like, they're basically robots.
We figured it out though, so there it is. So that's
but like, if he had done the same thing against like a gang of robots, it'd have the same effect.
Let me.
Because they're not even real. They're basically robots.
Is Spider-Man against the killing of animals? Because those are just space animals. Those are like space dogs that Thanos sicked on him.
Kelly, do you think you could beat a space animal in a fight?
Man, no, those things are mean.
You're killing animals for fun in the movie theater. And
That's me, not Spider-Man.
It's like, I am a scumbag. Spider-Man is a paragon of virtue.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. And then like, and a moment that I know this is gonna sound very unwoke.
Okay, I'm with you.
But like, the only part of this entire like fucking giant battle in this 3-hour fucking movie, the only thing that took me out of the movie.
Okay, I'm not with you.
was the weird like
the
girl power fight sequence.
That was a little odd.
Like
it was
definitely cool, like, see, all those characters are rad as fuck. But like,
Mantis is here to whip ass.
Mantis was the one that it was like, Mantis.
Yeah, no, that one, I was with it until that moment, and I was like, well, now this is just pandering.
Yeah,
it's like, you know,
it was 100%
utter
pandering.
fucking chaos. Like, there's all this shit going on. You mean to tell me none of them chicks had anything else going on? Like, they were all free at that particular moment?
You know what was a really cool, well done girl power moment, though? Was when Wanda drops herself down.
Fuck yeah.
It's like, you took everything from me, and he's like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, you will. And beat the shit out of him.
That was the first point where he's actually afraid, when he actually has the cannons turned to fire on everybody because
we need to blow all these motherfuckers away.
Yeah.
Rain fire.
Rain fire.
And it was everybody mauling him. He's like, but what about our friends? Like, fuck them.
We'll get more dogs than gorillas.
Spider-Man already killed my favorite dogs.
what everybody is dubbing as the A-Force moment, I think would have worked better if you didn't have every single one of the women cut out like Wasp.
And they don't know each other. Like, they have no reason to be buddies.
I think
and they're coming to back up Captain Marvel, who absolutely doesn't need backup.
Right.
Yeah.
She just knocked the whole spaceship out of the sky. And
Yeah.
they're like, don't worry, Mantis is here.
Yeah, I think
I was watching a video essay earlier about like an idea that if you had changed something about that moment, it would have been better. And it was having Nebula have the gauntlet and trying to get rid of it.
Oh, Nebula should have 100% put the gauntlet on at some point.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I totally agree with that. That was a
Because
missed opportunity.
That would have been better, and Marvel doesn't need the backup. Like that, it was like yes, I love Okoye, but she's not doing shit to help Captain Marvel. I'm sorry.
No. I feel like Nebula missed out on getting a big moment at the end.
Right. Well, because she puts the gauntlet on
her
in the
moment
comics.
was literally killing her past self.
Yeah, but
I feel like there should have been something with her and Thanos specifically.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I will agree with that. I will agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got no problem with the scene with all of them there. I think it was Mary who said it, that Mantis was she looked like she didn't know what to do with her hands.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck am I here? Am I supposed to like make someone fall asleep? God bless her. A story that came out the past couple days is Marvel and the Russo brothers patting themselves on the back for introducing the first openly gay character in the MCU.
Oh yeah, that was some real bullshit.
And it was Joe Russo playing a gay dude, aka Random Support Group Man.
Yeah. It's like, how about this sweet Easter egg? It's so progressive.
Like,
no, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
I'm watching the scene and I'm like, man, is Joe Russo gay? Because in this day and age, they wouldn't let a straight man just play a gay dude, you know, representation and all. And then it's like, no, he's got a wife. It's like, oh, no. I know you like giving yourself cameos, but bad choice, man.
Yeah.
And
no,
then
fuck that
making
scene.
a
Like,
big deal.
That was dumb.
Making a big deal out of it is a,
you know, like, watching
poor
the scene,
sportsmanship.
it didn't even move the needle. Like, fine. Like, I had no problem with the scene at all. It wasn't until a couple days later where they're like, oh, yeah, the first I forgot about it. And then, like who the fuck is, oh, wait, Random Joe number 4? Like, what the fuck? That doesn't count. Not when you've got Valkyrie running around clearly gay as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking we had another Wachowski situation on our hands. Like, are the Russo brothers fucking gay? That's fucking cool. Good for them. Gay power and all that. Nope.
Nope.
Plain. Oh, yeah. I'm the first gay dude in the MCU. Congrats.
Like, no one thinks that.
Yeah, no, that was lame.
I think
No
Billy
one's buying that. Nice
Eichner
try.
on Twitter said, I saw the scene in Endgame and it made me straight.
Yeah.
All right, now since we're still talking about things we did not like, it had to happen, but I did not like Radis Ex Machina. For none of the movie would have happened if it weren't for that fucking rat in the van pushing random buttons.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Like,
But I also, that's probably part of the 1 in however many billion or whatever.
It's a good point. Somebody brought that up in the chat. Like, all the other timelines, that rat didn't dance all over those buttons.
Yeah,
that's funny too. That's
so
a good
that,
point.
That I was all right with because of that.
All right. So Carol's hair.
Yeah.
Loved it.
You
Loved
it.
I liked it.
It looked like it came exactly just straight off the comic page.
No, I do not agree.
I'll give you that it looks exactly like the comic page, except I also don't like it in the comic page.
Hawkeye's hair looked more like Carol's hair in the comics.
No, Hawkeye's hair was stupid.
No, Hawkeye had the better haircut of the two of them. It was a
Yeah.
fucking awful
You know what?
wig.
Yeah,
Like,
of the two, Hawkeye's hair bothered me in fewer moments than Carol's
if
new
you're
hair.
gonna do the short hair Carol, actually do it. Don't make it a wig. Shave, do the fucking undercut. Just go full, like, and if you're not gonna do it, save it for a sequel. Save it for later.
The wig was bad, and personally, Brie Larson's head shape does not lend itself to that short hair.
Well, and maybe
for
it's
me.
Because it's a wig too, because she's got to
That
stuff
could
her
be
real
it.
hair under there.
That could be it, but like she looked all the minute when Thanos headbutted her, she just looked like between the hair and like her face shape, she looked like a different person to me. Like I for a minute I'm like, is that Brie Larson? Is that really Brie Larson? I did not like the hair.
I liked the Captain Marvel movie a lot. I had a fun time, but they really built her up as being this integral part of this Endgame team. But you could have taken her out of the movie and it wouldn't made a difference. She was underutilized and almost wasted, I would say.
But man, I like the logic that they wrote her out with. Okay, yeah, this shit's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like I'm fucking busy. You guys got this. I got other shit to do in the rest of the universe.
But still, when she was there, she was still underutilized.
She brought Iron Man back.
Yeah, she was the heavy hitter.
She brought Iron Man back. She destroyed the fucking Fire Rain ship. Like,
I enjoyed the part when, they're raining fire, and in like a show of almost respect, to be like, never mind, turn all the guns away and shoot at her. because we have heard some shit about her and dropped her out of the sky.
I do like the interaction where she rolls up on Peter Parker and he goes, "Hi, I'm Peter Parker," and she goes, "Hi, Peter Parker. You got something for me?"
I like that.
She's so fucking cool, man.
He whipped in his pants.
That's what I like most about movie Carol. I mean, probably comic Carol too, but she's so fucking cool. She's just neat. Got a good attitude. She's just so dry.
I feel like she could have used 2 or 3 more scenes in the movie just to kind of connect her to the team, to like introduce her better into the story, and give her something. Like the movie was about those original Avengers, and especially the ending was about Cap and Iron Man. But give me a little something extra. There might have been. They might have put it on the cutting room floor.
Because you had that 5-year time jump, so you know that they know each other now, and like they've worked together, but you don't see, like, unlike where like Nebula and Rocket, you see them continually interact with the team. So even though there's been that time jump and they've essentially told you that they are now closer, you get to see that throughout the movie. They tell you that with Carol, and then she's gone from that moment until the battle, and then even on the battle, she doesn't really like she interacts with Peter and like the other women for a second, but she doesn't really have any like interpersonal relationship with them that you see.
No, you got it with her and Rhodey.
When she says "good luck" and they turn off when they're talking on the comm and she just says "good luck."
Well, she and Rhodey have a moment that she doesn't have with anyone else. It's clear that there's something there between the two.
Yeah, I did like that because we could possibly see that in another Captain Marvel movie if they do it in the past, because since he was in it.
I like that.
I'm a little surprised that her and Rhodey don't know each other.
Right.
Because they're both in the Air Force. Like, I get that the Air Force is like a big thing.
Everyone
but
in the
also,
Air Force
like,
knows each other.
You don't know, like, how many fighter pilots are there in the world? Like 200 tops? Like, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
for them to
especially since she was a woman. Like, she was probably she was a target. In her movie, they show that people bully her and stuff. So it would have been cool for him to maybe notice her and help her up at some point and just have a little exchange, give some relationship. But the way they built her up, I expected more out of her in Endgame. Just overall. And setting her up more to be the Iron Man or the Captain America of the future.
Fair enough.
What kind of questions, you guys? Is that it as far as dislikes? Kelly, what do you got?
The Iron Man 3 kid did not like that.
That was completely unnecessary.
Well, and especially because I'm like, oh shit, is this setting up something for who was that?
Right.
It's like, did Kang bring Team Tony? And
Wait, what happened?
Team Tony?
And like, oh no, it's just that kid from
Lee,
fucking Iron Man
you didn't know
3.
the kid from Iron Man 3 was at Tony's funeral?
Is that who that was?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're going through the crowd at the funeral, and you see this teenage kid, and he's got some space next to him. So I'm expecting someone to step into frame to give us context as to who this kid is, but they never do. So you're like, who's this fucking weirdo kid alone at Tony Stark's funeral? And then it hit me, and it's like, oh, it's Iron Man 3 kid. He's got the same dumb face.
I was instantly upset once I found out who that was, and I was like, fuck this kid.
Fuck this movie.
Yeah,
I liked it because Iron Man 3 is my favorite of the Iron Man movies. So I was
okay.
I was
you can
down.
leave.
I like Iron Man 3, but let's slow down a little bit. Pump the brakes about 20% on there, Steely Dan.
Getting me all excited, thinking like, oh man, is that like Ultimate Peter Parker or something? And no, it's just fucking dumb,
I feel
stupid
like
kid.
Very similar to what Marvel did years ago, where they took like every teen hero they had and threw all of them at the readers until they could figure out which ones people liked. They were like, how's about Ant-Man's daughter? Hawkeye's daughter? The dude from Iron Man 3? Tony Stark's got a daughter now. Like, here's a shitload of kids. Which young actor/actress do you like the most? And who should we sign to a 7-picture deal?
And
You know what we gotta do, Mahoney? We gotta put him on an island.
Yeah, make them fight to the death.
Yeah.
And everyone in unison resoundingly said no to Kid from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, no, fuck that kid.
We do not want to see more of this
We
kid.
know you didn't like him as a child, but what about as a teenager? You like him
I
now?
hope he gets cut out of the Blu-ray version. What else upset me? I didn't like that Thanos died.
Really?
They kill off too many other villains. It bugs
Yeah,
the
but if
shit
anybody
out of
has
me.
it coming, it's probably Thanos.
Yeah.
Again.
But now, I think they should have gone with the old school Thanos where he gets him encased in that weird block of amber or whatever that shit was.
Oh.
So he's just stuck around there, and
No, I don't like that at all.
But really,
kind of just the threat of him is always still looming.
Even you said it. He might be back in that Eternals movie. They've got time travel, so he could be back at any point for any reason.
Yeah.
But I think
they needed the win. Like, I think the ending, like Tony sacrificing himself, and by the way, the "I am Iron Man" line, I love it.
Yep.
That was cool.
That was perfect. But like Tony sacrificing himself to stop this, you had to have Thanos be dusted and have
there's
him
the finality to it.
Like,
I also did like Thanos just kind of accepting it. He's like, "Oh, all right, you guys won."
Like, you know what? Yeah. At that point, Thanos is like, God, you know what? You really try. And then you know what? You try again. But these assholes. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I cannot wait to see what. So, like, to the point of they've got time travel, Thanos could come back. Like, I so desperately want to see Steve's journey to return all those stones, and like what happened, and then just this idea that he just kind of shows up and lives like a full life. Like, what damage happened to the time stream? Like, dude,
Steve turning off the TV on September 11th, 2001, saying, "You know what? Nothing important's happening today."
First, I would love to see the returning of the stones, especially when he goes and sees Red Skull on Vormir.
Mm-hmm. Well, you just know that it wasn't as simple as just like popping in and returning them. You know, like.
But in terms of Steve setting things just sitting things out, he created an alternate timeline when he stayed when he went back to the 40s. So like we don't know at all what that timeline looks like. He could have stopped.
He came back to this one.
I don't agree that he created an alternate timeline.
That's
I think everything that happened, happened.
Wait, why do we think he went back to the 40s?
Because he did.
Because like all the cars are like old Studebaker cars.
Yeah.
And it's all like old, like lame as fuck old 40s music.
Peggy Carter is 40s age.
See, I had assumed he went back to when he saw her at the base.
No, those weren't
a lot less like
cars.
Time fucky, I feel like.
Yeah, that's kind of why
my biggest question about it is I need to watch it again because maybe the time travel rules will make a little more sense because like they talk about different timelines. The ancient one's like, hey, fuckface, you can't take this because then what about my world? And Ben was like, no, it's cool. We'll bring it back and everything will be fine. And that makes sense to me because I've seen shit where time travel was a thing and I can totally reconcile that. But then they just pluck Gamora, Nebula, and Thanos from the time stream completely and drop them in the present day, and then two of them die.
Yeah, no, their time travel doesn't make any sense.
It does because this is where I think you can open the door to somebody like Kang. They're fucking with time and making alternate realities and doing things, and this would be the perfect moment for Kang to show up and be like, "You plucked 3 people out of 2014, killed 2 of them. This dude went back to live in the 40s. Like, you can't be doing this shit."
I think you can kind of interpret it however you want. The way I interpret it, because Tony described time as a Mobius strip, which is basically a twisty
no end,
circle.
no beginning.
Yeah.
So everything that happens,
and they flat out acknowledge to your face that they're not doing Back to the Future rules, which I did appreciate.
Right. But I feel like they're doing Bill and Ted rules because Bill and Ted do the whole bit of, okay, we got to steal my dad's keys and leave them right here. After we're done, we got to go back in time, steal my dad's keys, leave them right here, and then they reach behind the sign and their keys are right there. So whatever happened in Endgame was supposed to happen because if if it wasn't that way, and Thanos 2014 Thanos dusts in 2023, then Infinity War never happened.
Right.
But they flat out say, they talk about creating alternate realities.
Right.
Like they say you cannot change your past. So then, therefore, you have to look at it as alternate realities. And the directors.
Nice, you're exactly right. 2014 Thanos coming to 2023 and getting dusted. Now there is a reality where Infinity War did not happen because Thanos died in 2014.
Yeah. There's a reality where Thanos and his forces literally just disappeared from reality, and no one probably even knows what happened to them.
Somewhere John C. Reilly is really fucking relieved.
Ronan is like, why the fuck won't he return my call?
Because they've said this, and even the writers and the Russo brothers have gone, like, in interviews had said this is how it happens. They create an alternate timeline. So because you now have a timeline where Loki escaped with the Tesseract.
Okay.
What happened after that?
I can explain that away, but it just he would have to bring it back to exactly where he left.
Right, but you can't use that logic because Nebula is and everybody is again dead. There's no way that they can go back from that death unless you're unless you want to get really complicated and say in 50 years in the future somebody does something to get a stone to go back to put the fix
time is a flat circle.
Right again. Loki could undo that alternate timeline by going back and putting the stone and letting it all play out the way it was originally going to play out, but will he? Who knows?
So the bit with the Ancient One essentially explains this away by saying they created alternate timelines.
Yes,
but then
they have some intentions to put it all back, but Thanos is like, "Fuck it!"
She says you would create an alternate timeline if you were to take this stone, and then Hulk is like, "No, we'll bring it back," and she's like, "Okay, cool, that fixes everything." So that makes me think whatever happened for a reason and was always supposed to happen. But it can also create alternate timelines. Either way, you can explain all of this time travel garbage away.
Yes, it's not to say that the creation of the alternate timelines wasn't meant to happen. It's just that when those events happened, when Loki took the Tesseract and disappeared, when 2014 Thanos died, those things spun off different universes. Where
Zero in the chat is suggesting that one of the alternate timelines could create mutants. So mutants could have existed.
Like everything would have been easier to, I guess, comprehend if they hadn't had that Ancient One scene.
Oh no, I think that was completely necessary to be able to comprehend.
Yeah, I came into this conversation a little confused, and now I'm super on board.
See, to me, with the Ancient One scene, it's like, okay, no, this is how it is. Everything's gonna go back to how it was, and it's one timeline. It's like, wait, no,
everything had worked out.
That's the exact opposite of what happened.
No, it's not it's the exact opposite of what happened but Ancient One says you're going to create a divergent alternate timeline unless you bring everything back before it happens.
Right. So it's showing that, because from her perspective, if you take a stone, it creates that divergent timeline. Bruce is like, we bring it back, it won't. But that was just showing that specific instance of the time stone. Other alterations have happened. They did not get out of this completely clean. So there are some now divergent timelines. Steve going back, because we know now some people have said, because we never actually learned the identity of Peggy's husband, that Steve was always going to be her husband and blah, blah, blah.
100%. I'm down with that.
See, I am completely not, because there is no way in hell that he was able to hide for 50, 60, 70 years without people realizing who he was. That would change everything.
Yeah, but she's like the number one spy.
Yeah.
But if going back in time and marrying Peggy Carter creates a separate timeline, then...
Well, this is the Mobius strip again.
Right.
This timeline is the one where he goes back in time and marries Peggy Carter. And also, JM, I don't think that he went back in time and chilled on the sidelines. I bet there is countless stories to tell of Steve Rogers getting his hands dirty and Peggy being like, "You need to stop." Like, people are going to notice that you're around.
Fighting in Vietnam with Wolverine.
You know,
I would suggest looking. I don't know where they are right now. But like they have the writers have come out and said like the divergent timelines is what happens, and like Tony even says like basically they have a time and space like GPS. So if Steve goes in the past and creates an alternate timeline, he has a GPS to get back to his initial timeline. That's how he gets back to that bench.
Okay. All right. Nope. I'm in. Yep.
Now, see, my understanding.
Oh, so he went from one timeline to another?
Yes. He went back in time. He went back in time, lived his life out with Peggy Carter. So that timeline, he was probably like, "Hey, I'm back. I'm Captain America." And then eventually, maybe there are two Caps, or maybe he after if the other one gets unfrozen, whatever. He lives his life. He's an older man when the Avengers form, so he's not. Whatever happens in that timeline happens, and then when he's like, "Okay, I'm old. I need to go back." To when
These guys are waiting on me.
I much prefer the idea that Steve goes back to 1940. He lives his entire life. It gets to 2023. He takes an Uber to Avengers headquarters and sits on the fucking bench.
Yeah, that's what I think happened.
It like that part that
But if that happens, then so much other shit can see. This is where
it gets all fucked up.
It's the Mobius strip past in your future.
Okay, let me put it this way.
You're right. Yeah, Mobius strip.
I rationalized it to myself in order to answer all these time travel questions that I had after the movie. I came upon this theory that everything that happened is supposed to happen. Cap going back, all that he was in the past the whole time and we didn't realize it. And that's the only way I can rationalize all these time travel problems. However you can come to terms with the time travel is whatever is best for you. I don't think there's any one answer.
No, I like it. I'm into it.
Okay, since we're on questions. How did Valkyrie and the S-Guardians get away from Thanos and get to Earth? And then also...
Well, he only killed half of them, right?
Okay, yeah. But so they
where were they?
Yeah,
I think at the beginning of Infinity War, you hear them talk about like sending out escape pods and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. But so up until he gets all the stones and does the snap, Thanos is going around the universe doing this shit manually,
just
killing half of populations. But when the snap happened, did the Asgardians lose another half? Are they down to a quarter now?
I would assume no, because Thanos is thorough, and I think he would know. He's like, I already got them. They're good.
But it was also, wasn't it supposed to be random? So he just kind of put them in their own little like lockbox.
I feel like he did.
Okay.
I feel like he knows this stuff.
Same with like the Gamora people. Yeah, he knows what's up.
Okay, that's fine. I'll accept that. One thing I will not accept, and this also goes back to a lot of the MCU movies, is how does everyone get a fucking Bluetooth headset that is automatically connected to everyone else? Because at one point in Endgame, they're calling out looking for the time machine or looking for the gauntlet or whatever, and then Hope gets on the headset and is like, "We got you covered, Cap." Like, when did she get a fucking headset that connects to Cap?
My password.
How is she talking to fucking Cap? And then you even go back to Infinity War when Thor is trying to get the star started again. And fucking Peter Dinklage's dumbass is talking to him over comms too. You got a fucking giant midget comm somewhere that you just stuck in his ear?
The only thing I can think is that Rocket outfitted the four of them with tech when they were with Peter Dinklage. And that perhaps it was Scott who was like, "Hey, they put this thing in my helmet. You should put one in yours too."
Okay, that's fine, but still,
You know, like maybe. But
I
you're
think it's
totally right. They all talk to whoever they want, and the boundaries of time and space do not matter.
Yeah, they write the script where these characters are interacting, but then you actually get onto the set and they're miles apart from each other. So you just kind of got to explain that away by them putting their fucking finger in their ear.
Yeah.
I had something written down in this kind of little section of my notes. I really like the idea of like a bunch of Yakuza cartel dudes getting de-snapped. And be like, who killed all my friends?
Oh, man, that's great.
Who killed all my buddies? What the fuck?
Well, on that
Yeah, like, man, I can't wait to get home and see Nyes. Oh,
he got ninja'd. Holy fuck.
Is it just me, or did things go too far to shit?
See, I don't agree. Because you're talking about, like, it became an apocalypse after half of life.
I should also say it's weirdly inconsistent, too. Because it's like, oh man, here's this street where there's this one kid, and like there's apparently no electricity or fucking whatever.
Well,
then here's this area where they're just making these really nice monuments.
The tombstones.
Well, I figured that they would probably have, you know, the population centers would shift.
You got to think that the snap is inconsistent, because just look at everybody that was on Titan and everybody that was at Wakanda. You lost a shitload more people in that group on Titan than you did as far as the Avengers go on Wakanda. You know, it ended up just being Nebula and Tony left on Titan. So, yeah, there is some inconsistencies to it.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and also, there's 100% of the people in the world right now, and there's, like, if one of my neighbors doesn't mow their lawn, not a single one of my other neighbors is mowing that lawn for them. You know? Like... the only thing about the snap that I think is unrealistic is that some entity like the government or Google didn't step in and be like, we own all their houses now. They're not around anymore. We own all their shit. This is ours.
Zero just brought it up in the chat because you got the scene at the end where Peter and Ned are back at high school, and then you have to think forward to
everything's cool.
You have to think forward to Far From Home, and you have to assume that everyone in that group all got snapped, or otherwise they'd have fucking graduated by now.
Yeah.
So the high school is a mix of people that got snapped and people that were 5 years younger than them, all kind of mingling together. Like,
maybe like Flash is a teacher now. Like maybe they're not even students.
Yeah, that's a good point, because they're all like 20-year-old actors. So yeah, they could be like teacher's assistants and stuff.
Yeah.
I made this.
That's another weird thing where it's like everyone in this movie was snapped so they can all be the same age.
Well, I feel like they're definitely going to touch on that in Far From Home. They'll definitely touch that.
You know what? The one scene that sticks out to me as an interesting scene to include is Black Panther and Shuri and his mom standing on the balcony in Wakanda. And I'm like, yeah, but who ruled the country for the 5 years you were gone? Like,
yeah, because everything there was still pretty okay.
Yeah, like you just stepped right back in the palace. Like I guess his mom survived and she led the country, maybe.
Or
like,
I mean,
it's just like, man, look at all these flying cars.
Well, you got to think that Okoye is kind of like the Secretary of State, so she might have been in the line of succession.
I guess
that, or like the Queen Mother's back in charge and she's got to get pregnant because we need another.
Oh God!
Yeah, fucking T'Challa comes back and he has like 3 brothers.
I made I brought up this idea to Mahoney, I believe, and it's so think about like Thor, who after the snap just kind of falls apart. Say you're me, or say you're some person with a full family, and the snap happens and you lose your entire family, but you're there all alone, and you get super depressed. And you just start fucking drinking and doing drugs and getting fat and just jerking off just all the time. And then 5 years later, your kids and your wife reappear while you're in mid-jerk.
And they find your comeback.
I believe the way you described it is as you were mid-slinging ropes.
Yeah.
Or what if in the 5 intervening years you have met a woman who also lost everything, and you fucking now are falling in love, have a new family, and here comes your old family's come back, like fuck.
Yeah, random support group man, his husband's back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The first openly gay character now has to get a divorce.
Yeah. Plus, now he has to suffer through watching the Mets. Tito's gonna love that joke. Don't worry, everybody.
Yeah, I definitely think if half of the population were to all of a sudden disappear, that a lot of our basic services and government would crumble. Because that's a lot of people.
I mean, they even mention at the beginning that, like, governments are, world leaders are gone and things like that when, like, before the time jump. So, you've got to look at it like if the snap wiped out all of the high-ranking officials in the government, like that power vacuum, that's going to take that's going to really screw things up for a while, and it take quite a while to sort itself out.
Yeah, well, that's why you've got the line of succession.
But if it took out everybody,
imagine not even that. Imagine
suddenly Betsy DeVos is the president.
No, half of Congress just disappears tomorrow. Imagine the shit show that would unfold.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people that survived would be trying to pass some bullshit.
Right. It would throw off. It could potentially throw off who has majority control. You would have all sorts of fights about how do you fill those empty seats. Like, it would be a disaster, and people would be too distracted to be worried about cleaning up streets in San Francisco and whatever else.
And
if anything,
it's weird
they were like, we should make a monument. We should make a monument right now.
Yeah.
Because that I actually really buy that, because like
that's all we fucking do to make monuments.
Yeah, well, government loves empty gestures, so like
that's fair.
But without the government, who's making that happen?
Fucking white people, nothing better to do.
Yeah, that the San Francisco monument is like the GoFundMe equivalent of the Thanos snap.
We brought up 9/11 earlier, and I was, after seeing the movie Thursday night, I knew Mahoney had seen it. I knew John Michael had seen it, but he was probably seeing it for a third time when I was having this thought. But not being able to talk to you guys or Tito or Kristen or Jose or whomever. Jose still, it's like 9/11 happened and you guys haven't found out about it yet. And I can't even identify with you to talk to you anymore. Like, you haven't had that experience yet. And I was like, I thought lesser of all of you, actually. Not really.
Mahoney, did you ever watch that video I told you to watch when you were in Infinity War for the second time?
I'm gonna lean towards no, because I don't remember it.
Your wife tried, but she didn't last long.
Oh.
Oh, I watched that whole thing. The ProZD
the Lunchables?
eating all the Lunchables. Yeah, I watched that whole 24-minute video.
Yeah, I did too.
It was 24 minutes of eating Lunchables?
He ate every Lunchable that was available.
Oh.
It's a good time.
I love Lunchables, so I was there for it. But he ate them wrong. Like, you're not supposed to use 2 crackers in a Lunchable sandwich. You're supposed to put meat, cheese, cracker. Yeah.
I'd always use 2 crackers.
That's too much crackers, and the ratio's all wrong. You'd run out of crackers. No,
I bet every single time he ran out of crackers.
Well, no, we got to wrap this shit up. Now we're talking about crackers. It's getting late.
So what do we think about the future of the MCU? Because they didn't really tease a whole lot, but what do we see happening?
Like, we know that we kind of have the stage set for Guardians.
Yes, which
I like that.
I love.
Fucking Adam Warlock's going to be in that, and I'm excited.
Almost like Guardians was supposed to come out like soon.
Well, they said they're going to start shooting it next year.
Hey, how about we get this fucking Suicide Squad movie out and ready to go so we can work on the important movie?
Yeah. I love the idea of 2014 Gamora just being in the wind, and
that's great.
Either Peter Quill is trying to hunt her down, or like they run into her and they have that will they won't they Sam and Diane relationship again, or maybe fucking because she kind of had a crush on him in Infinity War. Gamora might have the hots for Thor, and you might have some problems there between Thor and Quill. What are we doing about this Black Widow movie? Is it a prequel?
It's almost gotta be.
I kind of kept expecting her to step out from behind a tree at Tony's funeral and being like, yeah, that bitch that sacrificed herself was a Skrull or something.
I thought it was supposed to be an entirely different Black Widow.
Oh, I don't think
But
you could do a Black
Widow in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she?
She's the star.
If you did a Black Widow
Although
movie
Scarlett
without
Johansson has been known to play weird roles like that, so maybe she is going to play an entirely different.
I could see them kind of doing like a half and half where it's a prequel flashback where like, you know, this happened X amount of years ago and this is a case that Natasha was working on, and then you cut to the present where like a new Black Widow
do it like Psycho.
Yeah, like is like having some kind of like thing that ties back into it, and then like, you know, then after that, then that's the new Black Widow that's going off into the MCU for the foreseeable
And she's
future.
still relatively young looking, so she could still play young Natasha, but you could also put her movie in between, you know, Winter Soldier and Age of Ultron if you want to. You can.
I'd like it in between Civil War and like when she's potentially on the run.
Sure.
In between Civil War and Infinity War, I think that there's a gap of time there before maybe she meets up with Steve, where she's got, or have Cap, like, I mean, I don't think you would, but have him cameo or have him have a little part in it. Again, I don't think Chris Evans is done, but
yeah, I don't think we've seen the last of these dudes.
That's the other thing that I love about the introduction of time travel is that like 10, 15 years they're drying, dust off their suits and come back for a movie or for, you know,
how many times did Hugh Jackman say he was done being Wolverine?
Yeah.
Everybody's
be
done
surprised
until it's
if,
$10 million.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney is just like, hey, Chris Evans, you want to direct stuff? How about you direct this superhero movie?
Oh, that'd be great. Why not?
They're talking about letting what's her face, Karen Gillan, directs one of the Disney Plus shows.
Great,
that'd be
She's
cool.
Adorable. And obviously, we've got our setup for the Falcon Winter Soldier show, which we all kind of knew what was going to happen, but I think a lot of us thought it was going to be them kind of competing for the mantle of Captain America.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this confirms my theory that the Falcon as Cap turn was pushed by Disney because they like the actor that plays Falcon more than the actor that plays Bucky.
I mean, could be. I mean, it could be just
a versus you probably go to them with the same contract and say which one he wants to be Cap. It's 9 movies and it's, you know, the same, it's a little bit more than what you make right now.
And it could just be optics. You know, it looks great, them giving the shield to Black Dude.
Yeah.
Which
I feel like they were just like, hey, comics, try this out first. See if people, see how much people lose their shit, and we'll go from there.
And then comics was like, they lose their shit over everything.
Yeah.
And the Loki series, I hope, is basically just Quantum Leap with Loki with the Tesseract just bouncing around time.
Well, it has to be, right?
Sounds fucking fantastic.
Yeah, at this point, it can't be anything else.
And then, Mahoney, what do you think's going to happen with Vision? Because they've got WandaVision lined up, which is a terrible name for a show.
So I understand.
Wait, that's what that thing's
Oh, yeah, they're going to call it WandaVision. And they said that it's set in the 50s, the 1950s.
No. Elizabeth Olsen said Elizabeth Olsen said that they showed a picture of her and Vision in the 50s.
Okay. So
now, that could be fucking anything. That could just be
just
like
promotional material.
Oh, look at us. We're like, you know, Lucy and Desi. Like,
yeah, or like a Norman Rockwell type thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't take that to mean that the Scarlet Witch show is set in the 50s. I don't think that will be the case.
But a lot of people have been reporting that.
A lot of people have been reporting that, but I think that's a misunderstanding based on the soundbite. I fully expect that it will be the story from West Coast Avengers where Vision at one point lost his personality.
We get White Vision?
Yeah, when he became White Vision. The government took him, disassembled him, tried to put him back together, and it didn't work. And he was basically just a robot. And I think it will probably touch on that. You know, he's all like, he lost all his color when Thanos pulled that stone out of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He'll get him back up and running, but he won't be the Vision.
But she's also connected to the Mind Stone, so she could possibly give him some juice.
Here's 3 threads for potential big bads that I would love to see them follow. The first being the Skrulls. You've laid the groundwork for the Skrulls. I would love to see them pick up on that.
Yes.
You fucked around with the timeline and laid the groundwork for Kang. I would love to see them pick up on that.
Yes.
Make Scarlet Witch a huge villain in one of your movies. Like,
sure.
Why should the Scarlet Witch be happy about literally anything?
Yeah, I think it was Zero who said in the chat, like, this Zero said in the chat, this is the Scarlet Witch he wants to see, the one who just had a psychotic break.
Yeah, exactly. Like, have her show her descent into fuck everything. Like, my brother's dead, my parents are dead, my entire place where I grew up is destroyed, the Vision is dead. Like, fuck all of you. I'm gonna either try to fix it and fuck it up, or just full-on villain turn. I don't know, but they have set her up and brought her along perfectly to turn her into a villain.
And boy, is she pretty. But I do not like her orange hair in Infinity War and Endgame.
No, but if you don't look at it, there's plenty of other places to look.
Boy, oh boy. She's the best part of
she looked real good in that fight against Thanos.
They film her from one angle, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so last thing I wanted to touch on was motherfuckers who spoiled shit. So, first, this is just the audacity that anyone would do this. Fucking IGN put out an article.
Wait, what? Okay, I'm listening.
Listen to this. IGN put out an article, I believe, on Saturday, where the title of the article was, "Who is that boy at Tony Stark's funeral?"
Jesus.
That was the headline.
No. The headline was, "Who was the kid at Tony Stark's funeral? Spoilers ahead for the end of Infinity Saga."
Oh my god.
Like, oh man, don't spoil who the kid is for me in the headline. I don't want to know.
They've since changed the headline. They've since changed the headline, but the web address is still endgame-Tony Stark-funeral-kidboy-Harley Keener.
God.
Holy shit, that's fucking terrible.
To a lesser extent, Tito got spoiled by a Google alert of a CBR article that was Avengers Endgame unofficially introduces A-Force. And this was on Friday.
I saw an article that said all the times
Friday.
I saw an article that said all the times that Captain America has wielded Mjolnir, and it had a picture of the comics, but it's like
there's only one reason to put that article out today.
What a strange thing to bring up. It's almost like changing your profile picture to Howard the Duck.
Oh, fuck all of y'all. John Michael, what was it that you said when you saw the picture of Howard the Duck in the Endgame fight, and you immediately thought of me?
I immediately thought of you, and I almost changed my profile pic to Howard the Duck.
Oh my god. If I was more of an asshole, I would have sent spoilers to all those people that spoiled Howard the Duck for me. But instead, I just, very specifically subtweeted people and broke them. Got in their fucking heads and got them shook. I'm very proud of myself.
Some real estate.
And then the very last spoiler that I want to talk about, and we've talked about him on the show. I believe he was on my fantasy team this year, LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy, who plays for the Buffalo Bills, on April 26th, which is Friday.
I'm like, fucking what, Frozone?
LaShawn McCoy at 2:19 p.m. on Friday. And this is LaShawn McCoy, who has, let me see, 730,000 followers.
And CTE.
Sure, but he tweets out, "The worst day ever. Me and Little Shady are hurt. They killed Iron Man. Take Captain America instead." And then
not Little Shady.
A minute later, tweeted out, "R.I.P. my dog, Tony Stark." And he spelled Tony Stark with an E in between the N and the Y. So even if you had Tony Stark muted on Twitter, it would have fucking gotten past there. But the best part of this is Matthew Berry, who is like the fantasy football guy. He actually called me out at the Fantasy Football Fest because we looked like we were leaving, and he was like, "Oh, you guys, am I not good enough for you?" But anyhow, he's got an egghead. Whatever. He's actually in Endgame. He's one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents with Alexander Pierce. Anyhow.
Okay.
But he's a big fantasy football guy, and he tweets out, because LaShawn McCoy tweeted out a massive spoiler for Avengers Endgame, a reminder that last year McCoy was held under 70 total yards in 10 of 14 games, was running back 45 in points per game, and gained 5+ yards on just 25.5% of carries among 47 qualified RBs. Only LeGarrette Blount was worse. And the next one was, the next one is possible new name for LaShawn McCoy is LaSpoiler McCut, because he might be one of the 32 players likely to get cut after the NFL draft. He went so hard. He went so fucking hard on LaShawn McCoy. There is a petition started to have LaShawn McCoy's contract be terminated for spoiling Avengers Endgame.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
I mean, it's not out of line.
Yeah, that guy should definitely be costing millions and millions of dollars.
Yep. That's what we do, right? Somebody fucks up, we want them to lose their job. So
I mean,
get out of football, LaShawn McCoy.
I'm usually
bring back all those guys who beat their wives.
I'm usually not about, completely canceling somebody, but LaShawn McCoy can get fucked.
Yeah, well, you canceled your fantasy football season, so.
Yeah. So many people were like, well, I know who I'm not drafting this year.
I actually went in. I spoiled everything for myself on purpose before I went into my first showing.
Why?
What the fuck? Why?
I don't like suspense. It doesn't.
You're a weird fucking dude, John Michael.
We love you to death, but you're a weird bird.
I like knowing where the road is going so that I can enjoy the ride rather than worrying about trouble ahead.
You have just shat in the face of the concept of narrative fiction.
See, I don't think a spoiler inherently ruins a story. I don't spoil things for people because I don't want to be an asshole. But
they don't call it make shit slightly less good, so they call it spoil shit.
But I still it enhances my my enjoyment of a movie.
That's wild. So what did you know going in?
Awakens here, right? I knew that Black Widow.
I haven't, but I don't care.
You what?
I said I haven't seen Force Awakens, but I don't give a fuck.
Well, I brought it up because I was gonna, if you don't care, I was gonna say the first time I saw that movie, I hadn't read any spoilers, and I hated it because I spent the entire movie up until it happened being
experiencing
they're gonna kill Han Solo, right? No, I'm they're gonna kill Han Solo, right? They're gonna kill Han Solo. I was so wrapped up in my own head that and nervous and waiting for it that it ruined the movie going experience. And that was the moment I truly learned that I need to spoil this for myself or I'm not gonna enjoy it.
I'm beginning to understand why you went into psychology.
Zero in the chat says his mom is the same as JM. She won't watch a movie unless she knows in advance that the good guys don't die. She's been like that since Braveheart.
Outstanding.
Braveheart broker.
Never
again. Never again, Hollywood.
But yeah, I knew Black Widow died. I knew Cap got old. I knew Tony died.
The clip of Thanos' head getting chopped off was making the rounds on the internet Wednesday.
I saw stills of images from the movie too, one very blurry image of Thor during the final battle, with the beard, the braided beard and everything, and the long hair. At the point that I saw that, though, people were like, "Oh, those are those aren't real. Those are," and I'm like, it turned out to be completely real. But yeah, I didn't know every single beat of the story, and I knew Cap wields Mjolnir, but I didn't know how it happened, and that's where my enjoyment comes in. Of I know this is going to happen. How does it happen?
I would be so fucking mad if some asshole told me that Cap wielded Mjolnir in that movie. I'd be so
I would have
mad.
been pissed if I knew he said Avengers Assemble. But I guess for you, it's kind of that first viewing, since you're going to see it multiple times, is just ripping the Band-Aid off, getting that first one out of the way. You know what happens. You're getting that first one out of the way, and then now you can see it as a secondary time after that, and not have to worry at all.
That's why that's why I people even like joke about it on my Facebook and stuff. Like I will usually say I enjoyed X movie better the second time or third time because that's how it works for me. I can sit back, relax, and I know where this is going and I know how it's going to go, so I can enjoy the ride better.
My avoiding of spoilers for this movie actively changed my social media habits probably forever.
Good.
Because I was very, very selective with what I looked at on Twitter and like Facebook, shit like that. Like I rarely Facebooked anyway, but even less than normal the past few days before leading up to the movie. And then same with Twitter, like I made a list of like you guys, because you're not gonna spoil shit, and that's it. Like I don't know much else. Like I assume that like the president and the people around him are still doing terrible shit and not facing any consequences for it. But I don't know any specifics, and I'm kind of okay with it. Kind of feel like my lady. She never knows shit about shit.
Not being worried about spoilers is very nice because it's fun to sit back and watch people on social media freaking the hell out about spoilers. And like, I can't know anything. Don't talk to me. Don't even tell me if you liked it. Like, I don't want that. Like, I won't spoil.
I'm not an asshole about it.
Well, I'm not saying like you, but I've seen people that like freak the hell out, or like I will like essentially I'll end you if you even. I
know a guy like that.
The other day, I
fucking sick a turtle on you in a heartbeat.
The other day, I listened to the Popcast when we all watched the Civil War trailer for the first time together, and right before we watched it, Juan had sent some comment about Falcon. It was basically just Falcon's wings with an exclamation point, and I lit him up. I was like, "Shut up! Don't you tell me about Falcon's wings!" And then I watched the trailer, and like, there was just Falcon had wings, and I was like, at no point was I sorry for lighting him up. I was more annoyed of like, why did you react that way to Falcon's wings? Those are just his normal wings.
Look what you made me do! Look what you made me do!
Exactly. So the thing that got spoiled for me, because I mentioned it last week, and if anybody out there is wondering, is some person tweeted, "Now that the embargo has been lifted, I can tell you that Valkyrie rides a winged horse, and that should be all that you need." And I was granted, very small, very stupid thing to spoil, but at that same time, very small, very stupid thing to spoil.
Right,
Why do you have to tweet that?
And that was Tuesday night too, because it was during the show you saw that.
What a shithead!
And it was like
don't tweet that.
With the A-Force thing getting spoiled for Tito, it sucks, but not a huge deal. It's not like
but keep your fucking mouth shut.
It's not like Tony Stark's funeral. I do want to read this.
Seeing people losing their shit about Avengers spoilers, and then like people going like ham with the Game of Thrones spoilers, like the same people.
Yeah. Like I feel like I know everything that happened in the last episode of Game of Thrones.
I feel like the logic behind that is Marvel fans are just better.
I think
you know what it was. They had all their actors do that. Whatchamacallit?
I don't know.
No, the thing that ran before, that Kelly thought ran before, and everybody gave them shit for
like a PSA.
That PSA thing.
PSA. Thank you.
Well, plus, I feel like Endgame was a special circumstance. Like, don't spoil things in general, but Endgame is a finale. Like, this last episode of Game of Thrones wasn't the last episode.
No, but it's like one of like 6 in the final season. Like, every moment should be big. That's weird. That was a weird, hypocritical piece of bullshit. That's all I'm saying.
One of my favorite tweets from the thread after LaShawn McCoy spoiled Tony Stark's death is James Graham at JamesKillas21 says, "I rate it 1 out of 10 because Ant-Man no use his secret weapon and go Giant Man in his ass."
Jesus Christ. All right, anything else before we take this fucking thing home?
That's all
Have a good
I
time
got,
with it.
man.
Can't wait to see it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to an IMAX showing tomorrow, and then 2 more times at least this weekend.
I was worried because we saw it in like the true real deal IMAX where we see all the big movies, and they were showing the pre-show stuff with the lights on, and like you could barely see anything on the screen, and I was like, oh no, I hope this doesn't like continue. And then as soon as the trailer started and the lights went down, I completely forgot about it, and I was fucking in, you guys. I was so in. Like, we won't, until Marvel does this again, we won't see something like this ever happen again. Like, you've seen so many other studios try and do this shared universe shit. They just can't hack it. They don't have the love for the characters. They don't have the fucking attention to detail. The crew, the casts. It's a once in a generation thing. Is the MCU.
It's 11 years and 22 movies of lightning in a bottle.
It's very interesting because, like, even if they do it again, I mean, it won't be completely the same, obviously. Like, Captain America is my favorite character, so Marvel character, so it won't be the same, you know, not having him around. But also, I don't want to count anything out, because I remember after the first Avengers movie going like, well, it can't get better than that.
Right?
It's like video game graphics. Every couple of years, we just go, it can't get any better than that.
But I look at it more as like the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. Like, you could logically get someone to be 21-0 again, but will it happen? I don't know.
That is an interesting metaphor. But I get it. I hear you.
So Marvel's gonna lean hard in the back in the badge, is what you're saying.
I'm just glad that we were all alive to be a part of this.
Marvel Comics stands for the national anthem.
Because I remember, I'm not one of those people who's like, you know,
Marvel Comics wears Benghazi t-shirts.
I was reading comics and Wizard magazine in high school, and nobody else was reading it. But like, I remember doing that in high school, having that issue of Wizard, and not having anyone to talk about it with, to seeing where we are today, and just being amazed at
I did have a moment where, like, I was saying something at work about it, about how I was so excited about it, and one of the people at work was like, I don't get how you can be this excited. And I said, with no sense of like exaggeration or hyperbole, I'm like, no, I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Yeah.
Like this is you know, this is the shit that I've been waiting for forever. Y'all motherfuckers are just catching up, but that's cool. I get it.
People,
but that's why it means something to me.
People like rag on how many superhero movies there are, and that like it's the only type of movie that makes money anymore. But it's like, this is what I've been wanting since the fucking 90s. I've been wanting to see these characters on the big screen, and they're doing it right, and they're doing it great, to the point like it's the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah. I was fucking 11 when I read the comics where Vision gets taken apart and put back together and he's not the same. And now they're going to make a TV show about it. Like,
I used to have my issues of Entertainment Weekly, and I was casting my own X-Men movie. I remember drawing Wolverine hair on a picture of Sylvester Stallone from Demolition Man.
Precious.
I just never got the argument that people make of like, oh, there's so many superhero movies, like, or like the MCU movies, that there's so many. Like, this is more like, I mean, this is a little bit more like a television show that just has like 2 to 3 episodes a year.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
that's
like,
exactly the way I try to explain it to people.
Yeah, and it's like it's not the only thing that's out there, and yeah, people talk about it, but there are other movies, and you know, yes, movie theaters are still struggling, but I without movies like this, they might completely go under.
Right.
Like,
oh, for sure.
Without this type of movie, you're not going to have, you know, one of your, like, and I'm not like brushing aside like all the problems with the, you know, the movie industry and all that crap, but there are more movies than just these movies. These just happen to be the huge movies right now. If you don't want to go see these movies, go see your damn fucking art house movie. They're out there. You just have to find it.
Yeah. You know,
like, it's silly to me to complain that these are the only types of movies that are coming out, because they're not.
It's a beautiful time to be alive, and people just want to bitch.
And there was the whole.
It's because people are inherently lazy. They want the information. They want the entertainment spoon fed to them. They don't want to have to work to try and go find something that appeals more to them. You get the same thing with comics. You get the same thing with wrestling. You get the same thing with TV. Everyone's like, "Oh man, I don't know why TV sucks." It's like, you only watch CBS. There's great shit out there.
Yeah,
like it's just for every form of entertainment. Oh, music sucks. Are you sure? Or are you just listening to shitty stuff?
Right.
Like, there's the good stuff is there. You can find it. You just have to
been
find
more good shit than there is right now.
Exactly, and it's never been easier to find.
I went and saw Us like 2 weeks ago. One of the biggest horror movies ever released, directed by a black man. Who ever thought that that would be a thing 20 years ago?
Yeah, and it's like, complain all you want. You're just hurting yourself by not finding things you actually like.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the whole argument against people doing a victory lap over Endgame's, financial success at the box office, because Disney's this evil corporation that's going to buy everything, and then everything's going to be homogenized and have a fucking Disney logo on it. And it's like,
that's true. There's something to be said about that, but that doesn't cheapen this moment for me at all.
That I do agree to an extent, because honestly, I don't really care how much money the movie made. Like, that doesn't matter to me at all. So like, I kind of do see more the like economical impact of it.
But you can be afraid of what Disney might do as far as taking over entertainment in the future, but also be happy for this culmination of 22 movies that just not just broke records, fucking annihilated records.
Here's the deal. Disney would have bought, and that Disney would be taking this action with whatever the thing was. If it was monster movies, Disney would own Universal, and they would have all the monster movies. Like, Disney would be taking the same actions that everybody's worried about and everybody's concerned about and they don't like, with whatever the thing is. It happens to be superheroes, and we fucking love superheroes.
Yeah.
So
Disney's gonna Disney. I mean, it's just like, something's got to make money. Something's got to be the popular thing. And like you said, I'd rather it be the thing that I like, and I'd rather see the thing that I like succeed
instead of fucking Transformers.
Yeah, I like this. I'm happy that it's making money, and I don't have a personal stake in it. I'm not getting the back end, but it's nice to see something that I like embraced by the mainstream, not looked down upon, and frankly, I freaking hate Avatar, and if Avengers Endgame does end up toppling it, I'd be happy about that.
Fuck yeah, high five. But it's not going to change my life one way or the other, but it's kind of cool.
Here's a terrifying scenario. Imagine if Fighting with My Family was a 22 movie franchise, and we had to watch all that over and over and over again.
And, the other thing is, I'm not going to deprive myself of an experience that I want just because, Disney is problematic in some regards. And I can be very wary of things and very sad for the people who all lost their jobs when they bought Fox. But that doesn't stop me from wanting to see this.
Right. And you can't take away the fact that the people that made this movie put a lot of care into it. It's not just making money because of a fucking fluke. It's well-made shit that they put a lot of hard work into, and they kind of deserve this notch in their belt. Lee was talking the other day about whether or not this might get a Return of the King type bump come Oscar time.
Return of the King sucks, but they gave Peter Jackson a fucking Best Director award, because hey, yeah, this movie's bullshit, but what you did was exceptional. You did some crazy shit and went and lived in you basically terraformed New Zealand, so that's pretty rad, man. No one's ever done that shit before. Here's your fucking award. They need to throw one of them at the Russos.
Or Kevin Feige needs an honorary Oscar or something.
Yeah, because this has never been done before on this kind of a scale, and will probably never be done again. This shit's it's special, and I would, awards don't matter, and fucking nothing matters. Everyone's a nihilistic piece of shit. I get it, but it's special, and I would like to see those dudes, get a little recognition from their fucking peers. It'd be nice.
On that note, let's fucking wrap it up, because we are now officially a half hour longer than the movie is.
Yeah, and my phone is sitting at 4% battery.
I know, I'm watching my battery tick down too. I'm like,
my phone is on the charger. So, yeah, man, let us know what you think. We'll get a quick hit with Jose next week when he comes back. I'm sure Jose is gonna have takes.
Oh, Jose's gonna be so bummed about Drax because Drax got nothing to do in that movie, and he loves Drax. I didn't realize how much Jose loved Drax until his top 6.
But he's gonna be real excited.
I do really like the Drax moment where he jumps on that giant space ape and is just like, ah!
But like, that was pretty great. Like prison shivs him.
In Guardians 1, he's like, I still need to get at Thanos, so I was hoping for a Drax moment with Thanos, but
that is actually kind of disappointing.
Too much stuff, man. Too much to do. Yeah, email us, popcast@PanelsOnPages.com, or shoot us the voicemail, 616-951-1POP. Hope you enjoyed the movie. If you didn't, that's a real bummer. I hate it for you.
I liked it.
But I do like that we figured out why Kelly didn't like it.
For sure. Yeah, and it wasn't just because fuck Marvel movies, unlike some people we might know. So, yeah. 4, Kelly Harris, Jose Guzman, the departed Jose. Not because he's dead. He's not here anymore.
Remember when Jose was on the show?
Buddy Mahoney and John Michael. I'm the Lord Reverend Lee Rodriguez, and we'll talk to you fools next week at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, wait, fuck John Mitchell.
Nailed it.
At youtube.com/PanelsOnPages. Night. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Demonetize this, you fucking Google ass bitch.